Douluo Dalu. Life or Death Pact. It begins with a forced kiss to Qian Renxue. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyright or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 451. Prison Visit. Phoenix God. Before Chu Ye could answer, the water god said, "You don't ask me." Then he winked at the fire god, telling him to stop talking so much. Hilly. The fire god immediately understood what his wife, the water god, meant, smiled awkwardly, stopped asking no more questions. Chu Ye also smiled. "Brother fire god, you'll know when the time comes. If I want to defeat the 7 original Sin gods, I must go all out. From what you said, are you sure you can defeat the 7 original Sin gods?" The wind god said seriously. The 7 elemental gods all looked at Chu Ye seriously. Although they were willing to believe it, it was really hard to imagine that Chu Ye could defeat the 7 original Sin gods. You know, the 7 original Sin gods are all first-level gods. Among these 7 people, some are strong and some are weak. Some are just ordinary first-level gods, while others are so strong that they are the top combat power among all first-level gods. The strongest one is at least one of the top 3 main gods among all the first-level gods. You have to know that such an existence has a terrifying combat power. I'm not sure now. I may not be able to beat any first-level god, but it is hard to say in 3 days. Chu Ye smiled faintly, with an inexplicable confidence in that smile. This confidence made them not have a trace of doubt. In such a short time, it has been strengthened to the level that can defeat the first-level god. The god of fire, the god of water, the god of earth, the god of wind, the god of light, the god of darkness, and the god of space all looked at each other. The god of fire said, "Okay, Brother Chu Ye, then we are waiting for you to defeat the group of 7 original Sin gods. We also know a little about the 7 original Sin gods. If you have anything you want to know about them, you can come and ask us in the next few days." Yes, the so-called knowing yourself and the enemy will win every battle. Knowing their abilities and fighting methods in advance will be of great benefit to you. The 7 original Sin gods said enthusiastically. "Thank you very much." Chu Ye bowed his hands and said with gratitude, "Okay, I know you have your plans next, so I won't bother you anymore. If you need anything, you can come to our divine domain to find us. I'm leaving first. Goodbye." After the conversation, the 7 elemental gods left first. Those second-level and third-level gods who targeted Chu Ye had already left in disgrace. There were not many gods left. The few who gathered together came to Chu Ye. There were dozens of them in total. They were not enemy gods, but a group of gods who fully supported Chu Ye. Most of them were human gods who carried the throne of beast gods. "Chu Ye, in today's battle, you're absolutely strong, tough, and fierce. You beat those gods hard. It was really refreshing. I hope you can go to the end and become a dragon god, so that beasts can have the opportunity to become gods again. During this period, or in the future, we will do our best to support you," these gods said from the bottom of their hearts. "Thank you, everyone. I will do my best. Thank you for your support." Chu Ye nodded, and then asked very seriously, "By the way, I want to ask you, how is the Phoenix god doing now?" One of them replied, "Phoenix boss, in order to help you conceal the truth, he was severely punished. After accepting the punishment, his consciousness was damaged, and the remaining injuries on his body have not yet healed. He is currently imprisoned in the god prison, and the situation is not very good. It is mainly because there are power restrictions and suppression in the god prison. It is more difficult for Phoenix boss to heal himself. If it takes a long time, I'm afraid that his position will be damaged, and it is possible to fall to the 3rd level of god. There are not many human gods in the god realm who carry the beast god position, and the human gods of the beast god position are usually excluded, so everyone is more united and has a good relationship. As the strongest beast god in this group, the Phoenix god is usually called the boss." "Really? Don't worry, everyone. When I defeat the god of destruction, the god of Phoenix can come out." Chu Ye felt heavy-hearted when he heard about the current situation of the god of Phoenix. The god of Phoenix suffered because of him, so when Chu Ye accepted the request of the god of destruction at the time, he added a clause that if he won, the god of Phoenix would be released without guilt. Chu Ye will definitely repay the punishment that the god of Phoenix suffered for him in the future. Revenge must be avenged, and favors must be returned. After talking to them for a few words, only Chu Ye, Qian Renxue, Bai Bai Dong, Ginyu, and the treasure hunting beast were left at the scene. Qian Renxue asked, Chu Ye, there are more than 2 days left. What should we do next? I want to go to the god's prison to see the god of Phoenix first, and then we will go to the dragon tomb to practice immediately and strive to become stronger during this period of time. Okay. Everyone looked at each other and immediately set off to the god's prison where the god of sin was imprisoned in the god realm. During this process, Chu Ye first found the 2 great gods, the god of life and the god of kindness, and obtained the right to visit the prison. Otherwise, the prison is not a place that can be entered whenever one wants. Life and kindness were also very straightforward and granted Chu Ye and his friends the right to visit the prison. When Chu Ye and his friends arrived at the prison, the gods guarding the prison did not make things difficult for them and immediately let them in. Let's go. Everyone quickly entered the prison. They walked down and saw several iron cages. These cages seemed to have some kind of divine power and felt very solid. The prison of the entire god realm is very large, but the number of people imprisoned here does not seem to be large. Many cages are empty. Chu Ye and his friends walked down and came to the 3rd floor of the dungeon. Finally, they saw the Phoenix god in the prison. At this moment, the Phoenix god still had a lot of wounds on his body that could not be healed. He was sitting cross-legged in it, recuperating, but the recovery speed was extremely slow. The wounds left by the divine punishment seemed to be tormenting him all the time, and his face showed a bit of painful expression from time to time. This is related to the power suppression in the prison, which prevents criminals from recovering from their injuries easily, and allows these wounds to continue to torture criminals. Sensing a familiar breath, the Phoenix god who was sitting cross-legged opened his eyes instantly. He saw Chu Ye and others standing in front of him. The Phoenix god forced a far-fetched smile at the corner of his mouth. See you again, Chu Ye. He seemed to have guessed that Chu Ye would come a long time ago, and said apologetically, I'm sorry, I couldn't keep your secret. Chu Ye sighed in his heart, shook his head with a serious face, and said, Phoenix god, I should be the one to say sorry. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't be involved in these things, and even receive such punishment. You can say that I have implicated you. Chapter 452. Prepared for the battle against the 7 deadly sins and enter the dragon tomb again. The Phoenix god waved his hand, and said in an unusually serious tone, No, this is my choice. You can't say that you have implicated me, and you don't have to feel guilty about it. As he spoke, the Phoenix god stood up from the ground with some difficulty, and walked step by step to the iron cage and to Chu Ye. Although he was very weak and pale, he smiled with excitement. I have heard about your story. You actually defeated all those 3rd-level gods and 2nd-level gods, and even killed that hateful god of killing. Good. Well done. In the words of the Phoenix god, it was obvious that the god of killing was not right. The excited face soon became solemn, and he said in a deep voice, But you shouldn't agree to the request of the god of destruction. Even if you can defeat the god and the 7 original sin gods, the god of destruction is really too strong. Unless you achieve the position of dragon god during this period, otherwise, in my opinion, your chance of winning is almost 0. The Phoenix god was obviously not optimistic. Defeating a 1st-level god or something, perhaps everything is possible, but the god king is really something he can't imagine. Whether it's the 7 original sins or the god of destruction, I think everything will be solved. No matter how difficult it is, I have already started on this road, and I must go all out and keep going. And I am not completely unsure. Chu Ye said with a firm look. The Phoenix god was stunned. At that moment, he actually believed it. Phoenix god, I will bring you out. Wait for me. Chu Ye said again. The Phoenix god smiled bitterly and said, In my current situation, I can't say whether I can hold on until then. The Phoenix god's current situation is indeed very bad. His consciousness is damaged and his injuries are very serious. Coupled with the power of the iron prison, he will indeed face a life-threatening situation. Chu Ye said nothing more and directly released the dragon god's divine power in his body and injected it into the body of the Phoenix god. The Phoenix god's face changed when he saw this. This is, my dragon god power has a special effect on all beasts, including the gods that carry beast gods. These dragon god powers can at least help you survive this period and save you from some pain. Phoenix god, wait for me. I will take you out in 5 days. The Phoenix god nodded solemnly. Okay, Chu Ye, I'll wait for you to rescue me. Phoenix god. Time is running out and I have to go first. Go, with your dragon god power blessing, I won't have any problems. Okay, goodbye. Chu Ye nodded and said to everyone, "Let's go." Soon, Chu Ye and others left the god's prison. Before entering the dragon tomb, Chu Ye and Qian Renxue decided to leave little Shu Han and little Shu Zhu to the care of the god of fire and the god of water. The two little guys are in the god of fire's fire domain, and they are taken care of by the god of fire and the god of water. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue were more relieved. Then Chu Ye, Qian Renxue, Bai Bai Dong, Yu, and the treasure hunting beast immediately set out for the dragon tomb. In the next few days, before Chu Ye fights the 7 original Sing gods, they will stay in the dragon tomb to practice and become stronger. Through the dragon energy and in the dragon tomb, continue to temper the body so that the body can truly reach the level of the dragon god's body. At the same time, transform your own divine power into more dragon god's divine power. With more dragon god's divine power, Chu Ye's power will be stronger. Finally, upgrade the Phoenix Torso Bone to 1,000,000 years. These are the 3 major goals of Chu Ye entering the dragon tomb at the moment. These 3 steps of enhancement will surely make Chu Ye's strength even higher. With the blessing of his exclusive artifact, the Dragon God Sword, Chu Ye's power will reach a terrifying level. He will have enough confidence to defeat the 7 original Sing gods and finally stand in front of the God of Destruction. Let's go. Chu Ye went through the transmission channel in the Dragon God space and directly arrived at the vicinity of the Dragon Tomb. Then, he rushed into the Dragon Tomb at the fastest speed with Qian Renxue, Bai Bai Dong, Yu, the treasure hunting beast, etc. They quickly crossed the mountains and rivers and arrived inside, and went all the way to the depths of the Dragon Tomb. About an hour later, they finally arrived at the inner area of the Dragon Tomb, close to the core area, and then stopped. At this time, there were only 2 days and 12 hours left, and it was time for Chu Ye to challenge the 7 original Sing gods. At present, the fastest way to absorb dragon energy is to bury the dragons and bury the remaining dragon bones in the soil to let them rest in peace. Those dragon souls will turn into part of the energy and give back to Chu Ye and other people who helped them. At the time, Chu Ye had buried once, but because of lack of time, they only buried half, and the last half was left. Now there are 2.5 days, enough for them to bury all the remaining dragon bones in the soil. Let's get started. Yes. Chu Ye, Qian Renxue, Bai Bai Dong, Yu, and the treasure hunting beasts began to bury the dragons collectively. Burying dragons is not only a way to let the ancestors of the dragon clan rest in peace, but also a way to practice and become stronger. After those dragon souls rest in peace, the dragon energy they transform into will enhance the strength of Chu Ye and others. Not only Chu Ye, Yu, and who have the blood of the dragon clan, will benefit from it, but Qian Renxue and Bai Bai Dong will also benefit from it. Everyone began to bury dragons day and night, without stopping or resting, burying one dragon corpse after another in the ground together and setting up tombstones for them. In this process, the dragon energy given back by the dragon souls were constantly absorbed into Chu Ye's body, making Chu Ye's body stronger and stronger, and the dragon energy in his body became thicker and thicker. Yuan's growth was also very obvious, and they were also getting stronger rapidly. At the same time, Qian Renxue's changes were also quite obvious. She also absorbed a lot of dragon energy in this process, and was able to quickly transform these dragon energy into her own angel power, thereby enhancing her angel power. Qian Renxue's speed of improvement is far beyond that of Bai Bai Dong. In this process, she is quickly rushing into the combat power of a true first-level god. The reason why Qian Renxue can quickly improve under the dragon energy is because of power sharing. Yes, the effect of power sharing is not just borrowing half of the opponent's power. In fact, there are hidden effects that they don't know. One of them is to adapt to and get used to the power of the opponent, and after each power sharing, in fact, the energy of the opponent will remain hidden in the body, and even the blood will have a certain impact. Therefore, Qian Renxue has long had a trace of dragon blood in her body. It is precisely because of the remaining blood in Chu Ye that she has grown rapidly in the process of burying the dragon. Chapter 453. The dragon burial is over. Gifts from the live Dragon King and the Dark Dragon King. Qian Renxue also began to control her angel god power more quickly. 12 hours passed quickly. At this moment, Qian Renxue's power was about to enter the ranks of true first-level gods. And Chu Ye was also rapidly increasing. Another full day passed. At this moment, Qian Renxue's power finally completely entered the ranks of first-level gods. The angel god is actually a relatively strong existence among all the first-level gods in the god realm. At least it is one of the top 5 gods in the first-level god ranking. Therefore, if we only talk about the angel god, it belongs to the high-level god of the first-level god, but the power of the Qian Renxue has just reached the level of the first-level god, and it is still far from her complete control of the power of the angel god. However, with the power the Qian Renxue has now, Chu Ye will definitely be more powerful than before when he opens the power sharing. Chu Ye, try it. What level of power you can show now under the power sharing? Qian Renxue said. Okay, I'll give it a try, Chu Ye nodded. The next second, the terrifying angelic power began to rush into his body. Share the power. Chu Ye felt the surging angelic power in his body, analyzed it, and then concluded. If I don't activate the power of the Dragon God and don't use the Dragon God sword, my power is now infinitely close to the level of a first-level god. If I activate the power of the Dragon God, I think I can directly reach the level of a first-level god. If I use my Dragon God's exclusive super artifact, the Dragon God sword, then my power should be able to directly approach the high-level first-level god. With the blessing of all the artifacts such as the Moon God, the Witch's Cloak, and the Mask of Pain, I already have a certain confidence to defeat the strongest of the 7 original Sing gods. Great, Chu Ye, we still have one day, and our power can be strengthened during this day. Qian Renxue and Chu Ye smiled similarly. At least so far, Chu Ye's challenge to the 7 original Sing gods is not so stressful. Well, there are only a few dozen dragon corpses left. Let's work together to bury them. One thing is done. Yes. At this moment, there were more than 1,000 dragon corpses, but now there are only more than 20 left. They buried the dragon corpses along the way and entered the core area of the dragon tomb. The dragons that fell here are almost all powerful beings among the dragons. Among them are the 9 dragon kings of that year. The more powerful the dragons are, the larger and heavier they are, so it takes longer to bury them. 2 hours later. Finally, only the corpses of the 9 dragon kings were left. The 9 dragon kings were the strongest 9 dragons under the Dragon God. After the battle in the God realm, the 9 dragon kings also fell. Among them, the Ice Dragon King and the Fire Dragon King fell in the Sunset Forest of the Glue Immortal Realm. The 7 Dragon Kings, the Mountain Dragon King, the Earth Dragon King, the Wind Dragon King, the Light Dragon King, the Dark Dragon King, the Space Dragon King, and the Time Dragon King, fell in the Dragon Tomb. Let's continue, Swear. Okay. The two rested for a while, and Chu Ye stood up holding Qian Renxue's hand, and continued to work with Ginyu, Bai Bai Dong, the treasure-hunting beast, his own soul, etc. After everyone buried the last bones of the Earth Dragon King, Wind Dragon King, Mountain Dragon King, Space Dragon King, and Time Dragon King, only the last God of Light and God of Darkness were left. Rumor has it that the Light Dragon King and the Dark Dragon King are a couple, and they are very loving. Chu Ye, I suggest that we bury them together. Qian Renxue thought carefully. Okay, then we two will do it together. Yeah. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue joined hands and dug a pit together. Because they were 2 huge dragon bones, they had to dig more pits. The 2 of them, a human couple, buried a dragon couple. When the pit was dug, Chu Ye and Qian Renxue put the bones of the Light Dragon King and the Dark Dragon King into the pit together, and then buried them little by little with the soil they dug out. Just when the Light Dragon King and the Dark Dragon King were mostly covered by the soil, their corpses suddenly emitted a wave of energy and strong light. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue's faces changed. Following closely, the voices of the Light Dragon King and the Dark Dragon King rang out. Thank you, 2 young men, for everything you have done for our dragon clan, and thank you for burying us with the Dark Dragon King so that we can be together forever. This is our thank you gift to you, the couple. Please accept it. During the process of Chu Ye and Qian Renxue burying the Light Dragon King and the Dark Dragon King together, they felt the friendship between Chu Ye and Qian Renxue, which made the Light Dragon King and the Dark Dragon King seem to see what they used to be like. They decided to fuse a piece of their own dragon bones together and then give it to Chu Ye and Qian Renxue. Soon, one of the dragon wing bones of the Light Dragon King and the Dark Dragon King suddenly broke automatically. This Light Dragon wing bone and Dark Dragon wing bone emitted a strange light and slowly floated up. Finally, the 2 dragon wing bones merged together. They emitted extremely strong golden and black light, which was very dazzling, so Chu Ye and Qian Renxue not only used their arms to block their sight. After a moment, when the golden light and darkness dissipated, the 2 dragon wing bones in front of them had completely merged together to form a pair. One side was a golden light dragon wing, and the other side was a black light dark dragon wing. This is a pair of dragon wings that combine light and darkness, a pair of god-level external soul bones that possess the power of the Light Dragon King and the power of the Dark Dragon King. Chu Ye, is this an external soul bone? Qian Renxue was a little surprised. Yes. Chu Ye nodded. The two looked at each other, and their faces were full of surprise. Because whether it was Chu Ye or Qian Renxue, both of them had the strongest attributes of light and darkness. A god-level external soul bone blessing, and a soul bone that was so compatible with their attributes, whether Chu Ye or Qian Renxue absorbed it, the power would probably increase wildly. At this critical moment, the appearance of this god-level external soul bone is extremely critical for Chu Ye and Qian Renxue. Although Chu Ye is now 6 or 7 levels sure that he can defeat the 7 original Sing gods, Chu Ye is actually still unsure about the last opponent, the god of destruction. Even when fighting the god of destruction, Qian Renxue can play and the two can fight against the god of destruction together, but he is the god of destruction after all. Chu Ye has always been under great pressure, and even he himself knows that the probability of defeating the god of destruction is very low. Chapter 454. Phoenix Soul Bone. Millions of years later, Qian Renxue absorbed the god-level external soul bone. Chu Ye had never shown this, but as Chu Ye's wife, how could Qian Renxue not see Chu Ye's thoughts? But now the appearance of this god-level external soul bone instantly boosted Chu Ye and Qian Renxue's confidence, and finally had the courage to defeat the god of destruction. At least it made their chances of victory a little bigger. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue quickly calmed down their inner joy, and they said in unison, "Thank you for the gift from the Live Dragon King and the Dark Dragon King. We will make good use of its power." Both of them were very grateful. The voices of the Light Dragon King and the Dark Dragon King no longer sounded, and Chu Ye felt that their last trace of dragon soul seemed to have gone to another world. So far, more than 1,000 dragon corpses have been buried. It took 2 full days to finish. There are only 12 hours left before Chu Ye challenges the 7 original Sing gods. And in this process, Chu Ye's body has been blessed by dragon energy, and truly achieved the body of the dragon god. Chu Ye's current physical strength is probably almost the same as that of the god king. The dragon god's divine power in his body is also increasing. If Chu Ye's body before only had about 10% of the dragon god's divine power, now he has 30%. Using the dragon god's divine power, all aspects of power will be stronger. In this process, in fact, not only the external soul bones sent by the Light and Dark Dragon Kings, but Chu Ye actually collected a few soul bones that remained in the dragon tomb. Absorbing these soul bones is enough to upgrade Chu Ye's Phoenix Trunk Bone to 1,000,000 years, the god level. In the last 12 hours left, Chu Ye plans to absorb these soul bones and officially upgrade the Phoenix Trunk Bone to 1,000,000 years of cultivation and enter the god level. Swear, you just lack an external soul bone, and I already have the dragon god wings, so you'll absorb this light and dark dragon wings. Controlling its power will definitely increase your strength to a higher level. The stronger you are, the stronger I will be, and the stronger I am, the stronger you will be. Only when the strength of both of us continues to grow, will we become stronger. Chu Ye handed the light and dark dragon wings to Qian Renxue. I will control this external soul bone and take our strength to a higher level. Qian Renxue nodded firmly and took the external soul bone. Then, let's get started. Okay. The two looked at each other and sat down at the same time. Chu Ye went to upgrade the Phoenix soul bone for 1,000,000 years. Qian Renxue went to absorb the god-level external soul bone, the light and dark dragon wings. I wonder what level of power they will reach after they complete this step. Bai Dong looked at Chu Ye and Qian Renxue, looking forward to it. I have a hunch that it will definitely exceed our imagination. Yu said seriously. Didn't think too much and shouted, Brother Chu Ye. Sisters were. Come on. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue looked at each other for the last time and entered the absorption state at the same time. Time began to pass quickly. 1 hour. 2 hours. 3 hours. The age of the Phoenix Trunk Bone began to increase rapidly, approaching 900,000 years, more than 900,000 years. 950,000 years. 980,000 years. 990,000 years. Qian Renxue's strength and aura also soared wildly, and in a short time, it reached a level close to that of a high-level god. This surprised Bai Dong, Yu, and others. How can Xiaoxiu's aura increase so quickly? Can a god-level external soul bone have such a great effect? Bai Dong was surprised and puzzled. After all, it is an external soul bone formed by the fusion of the dragon wing bones of 2 9 dragon kings. How can it be compared with ordinary god-level external soul bones? But this effect is indeed beyond my expectations. Yu said. Finally, after the 4th hour. Chu Ye completed the soul bone upgrade first. At this moment, the terrifying flames were frantically agitated around him. An extremely sharp and loud bird cry sounded. The next second, a huge flaming bird in the flames soared into the sky behind Chu Ye. Flying to the sky. The appearance of the phoenix has changed. It is larger than before and looks more sacred and powerful. At this moment, the torso bone of the phoenix has been upgraded to 1,000,000 years of cultivation and entered the 1,000,000-year, god level. The phoenix has also evolved into the immortal bird. With the increase of the god-level soul bone, Chu Ye's power has become stronger again. He slowly opened his eyes, and the ability of the immortal bird has been upgraded and evolved again. The latest information appeared in front of Chu Ye. The latest ability of the torso bone of the god-level immortal bird in the 1,000,000-year immortal bird. It has a passive effect and restores 30% of its own state every hour. Passive skill upgrade. Rebirth from the ashes. When your soul power, physical strength, and all aspects of your state are close to the limit, or when you suffer a fatal blow, the rebirth from the ashes effect is triggered, and all states are instantly restored to 100%, and you can withstand a fatal blow. Newly added god-level soul bone skill. Immortal bird body effect. Enter the immortal state within 10 minutes, no matter how serious the damage is, it will be instantly restored, even if the neck is cut off, it will be instantly resurrected. In the state of the immortal bird body, 30% of the state is restored every minute. Release conditions must be used after the passive effect of rebirth from the ashes is activated. Looking at the ability of the latest immortal bird soul bone, Chu Ye was a little surprised. The effect of rebirth from the ashes has been increased to 100%. And the newly added soul bone skills are also very strong. This undoubtedly pushes my endurance to the peak. Chu Ye's heart was very surging. The built-in recovery ability has been increased from the original 10% to 30%, which undoubtedly makes Chu Ye's endurance even more terrifying. If it is a protracted war, I'm afraid that no first-level god can outlast Chu Ye. He can completely rely on consumption, protracted war, and delaying war to defeat the opponent. The passive effect is directly increased to 100%. Now Chu Ye can be said to have 2 lives and 2 manners. The newly added magical skill soul bone skill is the real surprise. Immortality. Although there are only 10 minutes, within these 10 minutes, Chu Ye can completely end the desperate fighting style, without having to consider whether he will die or not, nor whether he will be injured. There is no need to worry about yourself at all, just desperately output and fight desperately, but it is very scary. Very good. Chu Ye's face was excited, and his fists were clenched tightly. Now he has a great confidence that he has defeated the 7 gods of original sin. Chu Ye, are you still not well? Chu Ye immediately stood up and looked at Qian Renxue next to him, but he felt Qian Renxue's breath at this moment and was extremely shocked. This is. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 455. Qian Renxue's martial soul evolves. Divine King Renxue. This is it. Looking at the power emanating from Qian Renxue's back, Chu Ye's face was filled with surprise. He saw that in addition to the 6-winged angel spirit behind Qian Renxue, there was also a dark 6-winged angel spirit. 1 light, 1 dark, 2 6-winged angels, floating on the left and right sides of Qian Renxue. And the 6-winged angel spirit, because of the light and dark dragon wings, cultivated and merged with the dark 6-winged angel spirit next to it. The light and dark dragon wings served as a bridge to connect the 6-winged angel and the dark 6-winged angel together, allowing the original 6 wings of light to actually extend into 6 wings of darkness. The light and dark dragon wings completely integrated the light power and the dark power in Qian Renxue's body, allowing Qian Renxue's spirit to truly reach the state of a 12-winged light and dark angel. Chu Ye's spirit has actually evolved. Chu Ye said in surprise. At this moment, Qian Renxue's 6-winged angel spirit evolved because it absorbed the light and dark dragon wings. Evolved into a 12-winged light and dark angel. In fact, as early as after Qian Renxue completed the 9 tests of the angel, she had already controlled and dominated the power of darkness, and could even release the dark Qian Renxue, and could also temporarily merge and enter the state of a 12-winged light and dark angel. But it was only a temporary combination of light and dark forces to reach the state of a 12-winged light and dark angel. Now, Qian Renxue's martial soul has truly evolved to a 12-winged light and dark angel. The 6-winged angel, which was originally a god-level martial soul, evolved again at this moment. The aura it exuded has made Qian Renxue's martial soul quality reach a very terrifying level. Even Chu Ye's god and demon sword martial soul is much inferior to it. After the wings of the light and dark dragon were completely absorbed by Qian Renxue's power and aura had actually climbed to an extremely terrifying level. It directly made Qian Renxue's power reach the peak of a first-level god. Even more powerful than the original angel god, the power of this god position. That's right, at this moment, Qian Renxue's power has surpassed the first generation of angel god, becoming the strongest angel god of all generations, and also making the power of the angel god even higher. Reaching a height that has never been reached. 12-winged light and dark angel. Qian Renxue finally slowly opened her eyes. She stood up from her cross-legged sitting. Just standing there, she had already brought a full sense of oppression to Chu Ye, Bai Dong, Ginyu, and the treasure-hunting beast. Her entire temperament and aura seemed to have undergone a huge change after the absorption. So strong. Chu Ye could feel that Qian Renxue's power was probably above his own. Qian Renxue's 12-winged light and dark angel wings, 6 wings of light and 6 wings of darkness, also had a little dragon wing feature. This was the light and dark dragon wings, fused with the 12 wings of the martial soul. I didn't expect that a piece of god-level external soul bone given by the Dragon King could bring me such an opportunity. Qian Renxue was excited. And the surprise was not just this. She quickly came to Chu Ye and told him something even more shocking. Chu Ye, this light and dark dragon wing allows the power of light and darkness in my body to perfectly combine, and it also sublimates these two attributes of mine. Not only has my martial soul truly evolved into a 12-winged angel, I can even feel that my deity seems to be able to impact and reach a deeper realm and power. Chu Ye was shocked when he heard it. What? Swear, you mean, you can promote the position of the angel god to the position of the god king? To reach the power of the god king? That's right. Qian Renxue said very firmly. Tear. Hearing this, Chu Ye, Bai Dong, and Ginyu all took a breath of cold air, very surprised. Bai Dong didn't quite understand and said, Chu Ye, shucks you, can the position of the god be promoted? Yes, teacher. Chu Ye nodded. In fact, he had long known that the position of the god could be promoted and upgraded, and it was not a secret at all. Most gods also knew about it. But for someone like Bai Dong who has just become a god and is a newcomer to the god realm for the first time, it is normal that she does not know. Chu Ye explained, the gods only give us the power brought by the gods. It does not limit our power and we will continue to become stronger. Different people inherit the same godhood, and the strength they can achieve will also be different. If a new inheritor is strong enough, it will make the godhood stronger. In other words, the godhood will become stronger as the god who carries it becomes stronger. When it becomes strong to a certain extent, it will help the original godhood level to break through to a stronger stage with the bearer. In this case, if Xiaoxiu can reach the God King realm, then the two of you can join forces to defeat the God of Destruction. Bai Dong said with joy. Yes, teacher. Chu Ye's face was also very happy. He looked at Qian Renxue and said, Swear, are you sure? Reach the God King realm before we go toward the God of Destruction. So far, the probability of Chu Ye and Qian Renxue joining forces to defeat the last level of the God of Destruction is still very low. But now, if Qian Renxue can reach the realm of God King, then, with half of the power of God King Qian Renxue, Chu Ye's power can barely reach the level of God King. Two God Kings fighting one God King, plus Chu Ye and Qian Renxue have an incomparable tacit understanding, and there are powerful martial soul fusion skills, they have a great chance of defeating the God of Destruction. I am sure, but the time in that God realm is too short for me. I need to return to the Douluo mortal realm and comprehend the realm of God King in the mortal realm. Qian Renxue said. She now absorbs the external soul bones of the Light Dragon King and the Dark Dragon King, and the wings of the Light and Dark Dragon, which make her energy full. Next, if you want to truly step into the realm of God King, you have to rely on the understanding of that great duo in the realm of God King, so time is more important. I understand, Swear, I will send you back to the mortal realm first, you go back and comprehend it well, and I will deal with the God realm. Don't worry, I will definitely defeat the 7 original Sing gods, and then the opponent standing in front of us will only be the God King of Destruction. Chu Ye said. Qian Renxue also had a face full of fighting spirit, and said, I believe you can do it. When you defeat the 7 original Sin gods, come and pick me up. Then we will join forces to defeat the god of destruction together. Okay. The two slowly stretched out their hands, shook hands, and then set off immediately. Let's go. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Through the Dragon God space, Chu Ye can take Qian Renxue back to the mortal world quickly. In less than a moment, Chu Ye and Qian Renxue had returned to Hun City from the Dragon God space. Chapter 456, sending Qian Renxue back to the mortal world, each fighting for their own. At this moment, for the people in the mortal world, it has been more than 3 years since Chu Ye, Qian Renxue and others went to the God realm. During these 3 years, some changes have also taken place in the Douluo Continent, but everything is developing in a good direction. Only the top leaders of the Spirit Hall are very worried every day. They are worried about Chu Ye and Qian Renxue. What is the current situation in the God realm? Have they, after all, there is no news. But they cannot go to the God realm. No matter how worried they are, it is useless. They can only wait bitterly every day for Chu Ye and Qian Renxue to come safely. On this day, they finally waited for the return of Chu Ye and Qian Renxue. Your Majesty. Lord Chu Ye. Great, great, they are back safely. We're waiting. Welcome Your Majesty, welcome Lord Chu Ye. At this moment, many titled Douluo Masters of the Spirit Hall have all come from a distance. Seeing that the two are safe and sound, everyone is relieved, and at ease. But soon, Qian Dalu found that Xiaoqian, Xiaochuxu, and Bai Dong had not come out. Qian Dalu asked nervously, Chu Ye, Xiaoxiu, where are the children, where is Bai Dong? Grandpa, don't worry, they are all safe now, and they are still in the God realm. This time, Chu Ye sent me back, and you will go to the God realm again soon. Then, Chu Ye and Qian Renxue explained the general situation to Qian Dalu and many masters of the Spirit Hall. Everyone heard and understood the specific situation, and sighed. Hey, it's our incompetence. Your Majesty and Lord Chu Ye are facing such things, we can't help Lord Chu Ye and Your Majesty at all. Qian Dalu, the 6 great priests, including Ju, Gi, Snake Spirit Luo, etc. all blame themselves in their hearts. In the mortal world, each of them is obviously an extremely powerful existence, but for Chu Ye and Qian Renxue's affairs, they can't help at all. This makes everyone feel very uncomfortable. Elders, don't blame yourself. You are just mortal soul masters now. How can you participate in the struggle between gods? If you want to contribute, continue to practice and improve yourself, and strive to reach level 99 soul power as soon as possible. Then, I can help you become gods. Chu Ye revealed this information to them directly. As early as when Chu Ye received the reward for task 10 and mastered the divine position deprivation technique, he had already decided to train the strong men of his Spirit Hall into gods. As long as they can reach the minimum standard of becoming a god, the 99th level, Chu Ye can forcibly strip the gods he decided to get rid of, and then pass them on to the strong men of the Spirit Hall. In the future, these veteran titled Douluo at the Spirit Hall will have the opportunity to become gods. What? We can also become gods. Is this true, Lord Chu Ye? Qian Dalu, the 6 great priests, and all the titled Douluo elders were extremely surprised when they heard it. Of course, the premise is that you will have to reach level 99, the realm of peerless Douluo. Chu Ye said. This level 99, apart from the great worshipper, I'm afraid only Elder Golden Crocodile can do it in his lifetime. Several worship elders were a little lacking in confidence. Give it a try, there is still a chance. Chu Ye still gave encouragement. The lifespan of a titled Douluo is still very long, up to hundreds of years. At present, most of the old titled Douluo in the Spirit Hall are actually only over 100 years old. They have actually taken the immortal grass given by Chu Ye, and their current soul power level has already increased by 1 or 2 levels compared to before. There are already nearly 10 titled Douluo at level 96. They actually still have hundreds of years to practice. During this period, there may be other opportunities. Everything is uncertain. Okay, we will try our best. Everyone also ignited their fighting spirit and decided to give it another try. Yeah. Chu Ye nodded. After meeting and exchanging a few words with the elders, Qian Renxue immediately went to the worship hall, intending to retrieve and comprehend the God King realm. Chu Ye did not plan to stay in the mortal world for too long, after all, time was running out. Zwir, it's up to you next. Chu Ye, you have to work hard too. You must defeat the 7 original Sin gods, and then come down to pick me up. Let's fight to the God realm together. Okay, let's work hard together. Chu Ye took Qian Renxue into his arms, kissed her gently on the forehead, and then turned around and left decisively. Looking at Chu Ye's back, Qian Renxue also strengthened her belief, sat down cross-legged, and began to comprehend the God King realm with all her heart and soul. After Chu Ye left, he immediately passed through the Dragon God space and returned to the God realm, the Dragon Tomb. Let's go find that God of Fire now. Okay. Chu Ye led by Dong, Ginyu, the treasure hunting beast, etc. and immediately went to the God of Fire's domain. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue, they will fight on their own, waiting for Chu Ye to meet again after defeating the 7 original Sing gods, and then together, step onto the final battlefield and defeat the God of Destruction. An hour later, Chu Ye led everyone to the God of Fire's domain. The God of Fire's domain is a fiery red area. The God of Fire is full of extremely high temperature flames everywhere. It is a place with very high temperature. There are several houses at a certain place on the edge of the God of Fire. That is where the God of Fire lives. In the residence, the temperature is very normal. As for the God of Water's domain, it is next to the God of Fire. The God of Water's domain is like a water park, and also like a huge pool. From a distance, the God of Fire's domain and the God of Water's domain form 2 contrasts, one fire and one water. The 2 domains are connected together, like a Baguette diagram. Chu Ye easily arrived at the center of the 2 domains, which is where the God of Fire and the God of Water live. At this moment, the God of Fire and the God of Water are playing with Chu Ye's son and daughter on the big field. Seeing Chu Ye and others appear, Xiao Chen and Xiao Chuxiu immediately got up happily and crawled towards Chu Ye quickly. Dad Chu Ye took the initiative to squat down, welcome the hug at the 2 children, and hold them in his arms. Feeling Chu Ye's current aura, they couldn't tell how much stronger he was. The God of Fire and the God of Water only felt that Chu Ye was different now. My goodness, this kid, I always feel that he has changed a lot from 2 days ago. But I can't tell. The God of Water nodded. It can be seen that he should have made great progress. The 2 quickly walked in front of Chu Ye. Brother Chu Ye, you are here, her. Why don't you see your sister-in-law? Oh, she went back to the mortal world. I will pick her up after I defeat the 7 gods of original sin. Chu Ye replied. Oh? So, you are sure to defeat the 7 gods of original sin now? Asked the God of Fire. Chu Ye smiled faintly. Ha, about 70% to 80% sure. Chapter 457. Entering the duel arena again, Chu Ye versus the 7 gods of original sin. What? 70% to 80%? Brother Chu Ye, is this true or not? The God of Fire and the God of Water were very surprised to hear this. Brother God of Fire, let's take a look later. Chu Ye smiled, without discussing this issue too much, and then asked. Brother God of Fire, before I go toward the 7 original Sing gods, I want to learn more about their abilities. Okay, let's sit down and talk, please. The God of Fire nodded and invited Chu Ye and others to sit down in the pavilion not far away. Then the God of Fire began to explain. These 7 original Sing gods, like our 7 elemental gods, are all ancient gods in the God realm. They are also that first generation of gods in their respective god positions and have not been passed down. Chu Ye nodded. Usually the first generation of gods in the god position will be stronger, because the god position is created by the first generation, and naturally it will be most compatible with the power of the first generation, so it will be better than the second and third generations, those who inherit the god position, and will be stronger. Chu Ye did not interrupt and continued to listen silently. Among the 7 original Sing gods, the strongest one is the God of Desire, followed by the God of Pride and the God of Wrath. The other 4 are actually similar, each with their own characteristics and their own difficulties. Listening to the words of the God of Fire, Chu Ye quickly divided the 7 original Sing gods into 3 echelons in his mind. T1, the God of Desire, T2, the God of Pride, the God of Wrath, T3, the God of Greed, the God of Laziness, the God of Jealousy, and the God of Gluttony. The God of Fire continued. The 7 gods of original sin, as their names suggest, control the power of 7 original sins: lust, pride, anger, greed, laziness, jealousy, and gluttony. The most important thing about fighting them is that they can gradually make the opponent fall into the power of their original sins. Suppose you fight the God of Wrath, then in the process of fighting with the God of Wrath, your mind will gradually be affected and become angry and irritable, thus losing your composure and being overwhelmed by anger. If you fight the God of Pride, you will gradually become arrogant, conceited, and look down on your opponent, thus causing yourself to suffer because of your inner arrogance. Their power can make the opponent unconsciously affected by the power of their original sins, which means that during the battle, you may not even realize that you have been affected. Therefore, when fighting the 7 gods of original sin, it is best not to spend too much time. If you can make a quick decision, do so. The longer you drag it out, the deeper the impact will be. But it's the same. The gods who master this power of original sin are arrogant, angry, gluttonous, and lazy. So their 7 original sins are also the weaknesses of the 7 original sin gods. When the time comes, it depends on what you, Brother Chu Ye, will do. Finally, the god of fire revealed to Chu Ye some of the 7 original sin gods' fighting skills and methods, as well as some known skills, abilities, effects, etc. The god of fire told Chu Ye almost everything he knew, without hiding anything. Thank you, brother, the god of fire, this information is still very helpful to me. Chu Ye bowed his hands and thanked. After listening to the god of fire's explanation of the 7 original sin gods, Chu Ye's confidence in defeating the 7 original sin gods increased. Next, Chu Ye decisively closed his eyes and began to digest and organize the information he learned from the god of fire, and then quickly used this information to formulate a strategic plan, as well as the best plan and fighting method to deal with the 7 original sin gods. After all, Chu Ye had to defeat 7 first-level gods within the next day. There is also a time limit of 24 hours. Although Chu Ye can beat the strongest god of desire in a single fight with various power enhancements, he will be consumed by the 7 original sin gods in turn in the process. Therefore, the difficulty is still very high. After about half an hour of preparation, Chu Ye finally opened his eyes and stood up, with a strong desire to fight in his eyes. There are only 4 hours left before I fight the 7 original sin gods. We can almost set off to the duel field. If possible, it is best to advance the time of the battle. Chu Ye said seriously. The last 4 hours can no longer improve anything for him. It is better to advance the battle time, quickly defeat the 7 original sin gods, and take more time to prepare with Qian Renxue for the final battle with the god of destruction. Of course, the premise is that the 7 original sin gods are also willing to advance the battle time. Let's go. Chu Ye and others set off immediately and headed to the battle venue, the duel field. When Chu Ye and the others arrived at the duel arena, there were only 3 hours left before the battle. At this moment, some of the gods had already arrived, but most of them had not yet arrived. The 7 gods of original sin and the 5 great god kings had not yet arrived. Since Chu Ye wanted to advance the time of the battle, he naturally would not wait for them to arrive at the right time, so he shouted to the gods who had arrived around him. Please help me pass a message, say that I, Chu Ye, can't wait to beat up the 7 gods of original sin, and invite them and the 5 great god kings to enter early. Damn it. Chu Ye, don't be so arrogant. Don't think that you can defeat all the 2nd level and 3rd level gods, and you can be a match for the 1st level gods. They will definitely deal with you. Since you want to be beaten sooner, I will grant you that. Go. Go call the 7 gods of original sin and the god kings. Go. Go. Chu Ye wanted to fight sooner, and they also wanted to see Chu Ye being beaten sooner, so these gods ran to rule the 5 great god kings and the 7 gods of original sin without any hesitation. At this moment, the 7 original sin gods were gathered in the divine domain of the god of pride, chatting and relaxing. None of them took Chu Ye seriously at all. They were too disdainful to prepare for battle. Because in their opinion, any one of them could defeat Chu Ye. And in Chu Ye's battles with the 2nd level gods, the 3rd level gods, and especially in the last battle with the god of killing, they felt and saw Chu Ye's approximate strength. That kind of power can indeed threaten the 1st level gods. But it is still a little short of defeating the 1st level gods, not to mention defeating the 7 of them within 24 hours, which is simply wishful thinking. So the 7 original sin gods did not take Chu Ye seriously at all. At this time, suddenly, the door of the hall was opened, and a 2nd level god came in angrily. 7 adults. The Chu Ye kid is too arrogant. He is shouting in the duel field, and he said that he can't wait to beat you. Please ask the 7 original sin gods to take action as soon as possible and teach Chu Ye a lesson. Chapter 458 Chu Ye versus the God of Jealousy. After their 2nd level god finished speaking, he repeated Chu Ye's original words in the duel field word for word. After hearing this, the 7 gods of original sin were all furious. The god of anger smashed the jade table in front of him with an angry punch. How unreasonable. You arrogant boy, when I, the god of anger, come out, I must beat him to death with my own hands, and then make him lie in front of me and beg for mercy. I don't know if he dares to be so arrogant. The god of pride looked distressed, looking at the broken jade table on the ground, and said speechlessly, "Hey, anger, this is a table made of top-grade black jade, the only one in the god realm, and you actually smashed it for me. So what if it's broken? I can just compensate you with one." "I told you, the only one in the god realm, what the hell are you going to compensate me with?" Hey, can you stop yelling? You woke me up." The god of laziness, who was lying on the sofa, yawned and stretched, always looked very sleepy and didn't get enough sleep. The corners of the god of desire's mouth rose slightly, she slowly stood up, twisted her sexy buttocks, and walked between anger and arrogance. The jade hand was placed on the shoulders of pride and anger, and the voice was extremely flattering. "It's really interesting. Since this kid wants to die so much, let's take action earlier, and then let's go." The god of gluttony shrugged indifferently. Then, the 7 original Sing gods almost all stood in front of this second-level god at the same time, with extremely confident smiles on their faces and a hint of disdainful sneer. The battle time countdown, only 2 hours left. At this moment, almost all the gods have arrived at the scene, and the 5 great gods have also taken their seats. About a few minutes later, the 7 original Sing gods finally arrived. Here they are. The 7 original Sing gods are here. Great, they are finally here. We can fight. I don't believe that Chu Ye can still defeat the 7 original Sing gods today. No matter how strong you are, you can't be stronger than a first-level god. Today, Chu Ye will definitely die. The good show is about to begin. The gods outside the field finally became confident again, and the atmosphere began to rise. I'm really tired of hearing these words. Can you stop barking like dogs? Believe it or not, I will tear your mouths apart. Chu Ye said speechlessly, with murderous intent in his tone. The gods who were shouting loudly shut their mouths instantly. For a moment, no god dared to fart again. They were already very afraid of Chu Ye in the last round. There are still 2 hours before the battle starts, but I heard that you can't wait to fight us. Are you so anxious to die? We can't guarantee that we won't take your life in the battle. The 7 gods of original Sing stood on the edge of the duel field, posing one by one. So much nonsense, just come down and fight. Who among you 7 will go first? Chu Ye was too lazy to talk too much nonsense and wanted to start right away. Chu Ye's attitude immediately angered several of the 7 gods of original Sin. HMPH. I'll do it. Wait. I'll do it first. I'll do it first. This guy is mine. Several people immediately scrambled for the order of appearance. This scene seemed a bit familiar, but soon, the god of jealousy pushed aside the partner who was competing with him and rushed to the duel field first to seize the initiative. Whoever goes on the field first will fight first. Sorry everyone, I will personally end this arrogant and ignorant boy. The god of jealousy said very proudly. TSK, jealousy is really fast, there is no way, we probably won't have a chance to play. The others said with an unhappy look. But since they don't have a chance to play, they also hope that the god of jealousy can beat Chu Ye up a little more, and they can also feel relieved. Little did they know that Chu Ye is no longer the same as he was 3 days ago. And today will be the day when Chu Ye will completely become famous in the god realm. Just when the two sides were about to start a war. At this time, the voice of the god of destruction suddenly sounded. I must remind you, Chu Ye, the successor of the dragon god, although you are 2 hours ahead of schedule, according to the requirements, you still have to defeat the 7 original Sing gods within 24 hours. My lord, it's unnecessary. Even if you give him 2 more hours, what's the matter? I alone can defeat him. The god of jealousy said very conceitedly. He didn't care about the time at all, because in the eyes of the god of jealousy, Chu Ye would only lose to him, and time would be useless. Chu Ye also disdained to give him 2 more hours, because if he won, he would still have to complain. Of course it's 24 hours. If we start 2 hours ahead of schedule, we will also win 2 hours ahead of schedule. Chu Ye said lightly. Okay, let's start. As the voice of the god of destruction fell, the atmosphere of the battle was instantly ignited. God of jealousy, go ahead. Knock down this arrogant boy. Let him see the true power of the god who controls the first-level gods in the god realm. The gods on the viewing platform have begun to cheer. Boy. We believe you can do it. Go all out and defeat the 7 original Sing gods. Chu Ye, the successor of the dragon god. Chu Ye, the successor of the dragon god. Chu Ye, the successor of Chu Ye. On Chu Ye's side, a bunch of supporters also surged up, cheering him up and shouting. Unconsciously, when Chu Ye first challenged all the second level and third level gods, no one cheered him up, and even if there were supporters, they didn't dare to shout and cheer like this. Now, there are more and more voices supporting him, and more gods supporting him. Chu Ye has unknowingly occupied a place in this world of gods in terms of identity, status, and even strength. In fact, those who openly support Chu Ye have gradually surpassed those who oppose him. This scene was something the 5 great gods did not expect. Sure, a god didn't understand when Chu Ye hit so many supporters. Boy! Look, I'll defeat you within 10 moves. The corners of the jealous god's mouth rose slightly. Ha ha, you mean to be defeated by me within 10 moves, right? Chu Ye laughed. Ha 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 ha. What a joke. You are such a boaster. Okay. Let's see who defeats you or me in 10 moves. Die. Boy. Die. Chapter 459. Do you think you can calculate my strength? Within 10 moves. That's right, the god of jealousy was very jealous of Chu Ye. He was jealous of Chu Ye's power. Why, a person who has not yet obtained the position of god can be so strong? Why can a mere mortal be so glorious and supported by so many gods? Why? Why? Jealousy is very terrible. When a person is jealous of another person to a certain extent, he will have the intention to kill. Yes, the god of jealousy wanted to kill Chu Ye because of his jealousy. This is the original sin of jealousy, one of the 7 original sins. Feeling the killing intention of the god of jealousy, Chu Ye naturally would not show mercy to him. At that moment, Chu Ye also fully opened his state. The true body of the gods and demons. The true body of the 8-colored giant dragon. The power of the dragon god. Raw. In addition to the artifact, power sharing, and the dragon god sword that had not been released, all the state enhancements of Chu Ye were instantly pulled open and filled up. Rest. Bang. Chu Ye also rushed towards the god of jealousy in an instant. The two sides were about 500 meters apart, and they were killing each other at high speed. Your power has really become stronger. You haven't used the power of the woman of the angel god, but you have such a strong aura. Unfortunately, your power is still a little short of mine. My artifact. Come on. While rushing over, the god of jealousy decisively released the artifact that was exclusive to the god of jealousy. With the blessing of the artifact, the power of the god of jealousy rose again. It has reached the true strongest state of the god of jealousy. The god of jealousy is not a fool. Feeling Chu Ye's current power, he can also infer that when Chu Ye fought with the god of killing before, he could reach the level after giving the power of the angel god. Understand that if Chu Ye borrowed the power of the angel god, he would definitely have stepped into the ranks of the first level god, so even if the god of jealousy is arrogant and confident, he will not underestimate the enemy. After all, he said that he would kill Chu Ye within 10 moves. The god of jealousy could even guess that Chu Ye would release the power of the god of angels at the moment when they collided head-on, to catch him off guard. Boy, you want to play dirty with me? I won't give you a chance. No matter when you borrow the power of the god of angels, I will directly attack with my strongest power. What can you do to me? And I have already calculated the power you can reach after adding the power of angels. The god of jealousy sneered in his heart. The god of jealousy did guess right. Chu Ye planned to start sharing power instantly when the two sides were about to collide, borrow Qian Renxue's power, catch the god of jealousy off guard, and then quickly gain the advantage. Using that big advantage at the beginning, he defeated the god of jealousy in one go and took him away. But what the god of jealousy would never guess was how strong Qian Renxue was now, and how strong Chu Ye would be when he borrowed half of Qian Renxue's power now. He would not even think that the amount of power Chu Ye borrowed from the angel god would change with the change of Qian Renxue's power. The key is not when Chu Ye uses the angel god's power, but whether the god of jealousy should choose to confront Chu Ye head-on. And the god of jealousy made the wrong choice. 100 meters. 50 meters. 30 meters. 10 meters. Power sharing. At 10 meters, Chu Ye finally opened the power sharing, and in an instant, the terrifying angel god began to merge into Chu Ye's body frantically. Ha ha ha. As expected, kid, you're really just playing this little trick. I guessed it a long time ago, idiot. The god of jealousy laughed proudly and blasted with all his strength. The other 6 original Sin gods also smiled disdainfully. Ha ha, a trifling trick. Really? But at this time, Chu Ye's mouth showed a sly smile. I think you are the little idiot, right? Do you think you can calculate my power clearly? Stupid. The next second, the face of the god of jealousy was instantly horrified. What? The 6 original Sing gods outside the field also changed their faces, and even the 5 great gods were shocked. The angelic power that poured into Chu Ye was still surging, far surpassing the angelic power that Chu Ye had shown before, and it was not a little bit beyond that. Chu Ye's power and aura directly surpassed the terrifying level of the jealous god. Impossible. How is it possible? How is it possible? The jealous god was terrified, but at this time, he could no longer take back his power and could only confront head-on. Get out of here. Bang. Boom. Chu Ye swung the sword of gods and demons, a terrifying sword, and directly hit the jealous god with all his strength. At the moment when the power of both sides collided, the jealous god was completely vulnerable and was seriously injured on the spot. Puzi. Wah. The jealous god spit out a mouthful of blood, let out an extremely miserable cry, and his body was instantly chopped off by Chu Ye for hundreds of meters. WTF. The god of jealousy, actually. At this moment, all the gods in the audience stood up, and there was an uproar and exclamations. Oh my god. WTF. Awesome. So terrifying. Chu Ye, the successor of the dragon god, is so terrifying. The god of jealousy. Actually, his power is completely unable to confront Chu Ye head-on. Oh my god. This is unbelievable. Chu Ye's terrifying power completely shocked the whole audience. Everyone was completely stunned, with their eyes wide open and their mouths wide open, and their jaws were about to drop in shock. Even the 5 great gods were completely out of control. Ah. The god of jealousy was still screaming. After being knocked hundreds of meters away, his body floated on the ground like water, and he hit the ground several times in a row. Bang. Chu Ye also rushed over at that moment. Before the god of jealousy could make a move after being knocked back, Chu Ye had already rushed over quickly. You are too naive, god of jealousy. Chu Ye was already coming at him like a terror. He was going to take advantage of this wave of absolute advantage, burst out with the strongest power and the strongest speed in one breath, and directly kill the god of jealousy. 6th soul skill, 8 section slash of gods and demons. Bang. 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 Chu Ye madly chopped the god of jealousy into 8 sections. Damn it. The god of jealousy had no power to resist, and was chopped into 8 sections by Chu Ye, and the last section flew directly into the sky. 9th soul skill, gods and demons destroy the world. Chu Ye flanked the wings of the dragon god, and directly released the strongest soul skill moves, rushing into the sky, and slashing at the sky with a sword. Damn it. The god of jealousy was attacked by this wave of power, and had no time to dodge or defend, and also released a powerful divine skill to confront head-on. Chapter 460. The super artifact Dragon Sword appears and kills the god of jealousy. But at this moment, Chu Ye's aura, under the infusion of the angel's divine power, has risen to the level of a first-level god, a high-level combat power. The power of the god of jealousy, at best, is only the middle and lower level of the first-level god. How can he be Chu Ye's opponent in a head-on confrontation? Boom boom boom. Puff. Chu Ye's power shattered the power of the god of jealousy on the spot, and hit him hard on the chest again. 2 waves of serious injuries have caused the god of jealousy to seriously decline in his state. All aspects of his conditions are rapidly declining. In the case of inferior strength, it is basically more difficult to defeat Chu Ye with serious injuries. The most important thing is that Chu Ye did not intend to give him time and space to breathe and react. From the beginning, it was as if he was playing as a final. The absolutely powerful and strong attack made the god of jealousy fall into Chu Ye's absolute battle rhythm. He can only resist passively. The second style of the god and demon sword technique, Senlo Array, Sun and Moon Wheel, god and demon killing god slash. Puff. Wow. Hush. Bang. The jealous god screamed, and his body instantly fell to the ground like a meteorite, of course, smashing a huge pit on the ground of the duel field. The jealous god was covered in blood. Die. Chu Ye held the hilt of the sword with both hands, and at the moment when he knocked the jealous god away, he moved and stabbed down from the sky. Stop. Bang. The jealous god was extremely panicked and dodged as much as possible, but Chu Ye had already thought about how to attack after the opponent dodged. He released the fastest light and dark fusion slash in one blow, and slashed directly. Bang. The jealous god was slashed by the sword again. Chu Ye immediately rushed up again, slashed the jealous god twice in a row, and then directly launched the strongest sword technique that Chu Ye had mastered so far. transform into a god to bless, bathing the desolate land, rely on the white knight alone, and live by destroying demons. The third style of the god and demon sword technique, slash the demon god. The terrifying power bombarded. Puff. Ah! The god of jealousy screamed again and again, and his face was extremely panicked as blood gushed out. This kid really intends to kill me within 10 moves. At this moment, 9 moves have passed, and with the last move, Chu Ye will cut off the head of the god of jealousy. Damn it. The god of jealousy knew that he had to break Chu Ye's crazy and strongest attack rhythm, otherwise he would most likely die. He decisively launched the god of jealousy, the strongest exclusive god level. The terrifying power rose instantly. Take my strongest attack, and die for me. Chu Ye. You want to kill me, I will kill you. At that moment, Chu Ye's power rose again, and countless dragon god powers gathered in his left hand, and a terrifying golden light rose. Come out. Dragon god sword. At this moment, a sword emitting an extremely terrifying aura and power appeared in Chu Ye's hand. This is. The face of the god of jealousy was completely terrified. The blessing of the dragon god sword directly made Chu Ye's aura climb to the peak of the first level god at this moment. Enough to be on par with the top first level gods. It made Chu Ye seem to have truly entered an invincible existence. He finally showed his final trump card, the Dragon God Sword, a super artifact exclusive to the Dragon God. With the blessing of the Dragon God Sword, Chu Ye's power has reached the limit of what he can achieve. From the beginning, Chu Ye planned to use the Dragon God Sword in the battle with the God of Jealousy, with the fastest, most terrifying, and most powerful force, to easily kill the first level god in front of him in a very short time. He was going to kill his opponent with an absolute crushing offensive, and then bring an absolute psychological deterrent to the 6 original Sin gods who came on the field later. Kill you within 10 moves. This is the 10th move. God of Jealousy, it's over. Go to hell. There was no mercy in Chu Ye's eyes. With an extremely fierce momentum, he slashed the last sword at the God of Jealousy. Not good. The faces of the 6 original Sin gods outside the field changed drastically. No. The eyes of the jealous god were extremely terrified, and he screamed in despair. Bang. Boom boom boom. Die. Chu Ye's terrifying sword directly destroyed the strongest divine skill of the jealous god, and the next second, he chopped at the neck of the jealous god. No. Ah. Puff. With the last terrified cry of the jealous god, the dragon god sword completely cut off the neck of the jealous god. At that moment, the jealous god's eyes widened, and blood first flowed wildly from his neck, and then his head fell to the ground. Chu Ye sneered, stood next to the body of the jealous god very calmly, and then slowly retracted the dragon god sword. At the same time, the body of the jealous god also fell to the ground. The jealous god's head and body were separated, and the eyes of the head were still wide open, staring at Chu Ye with his eyes wide open. Chu Ye was unceremoniously stomped on the head of the god of jealousy. In a short period of time, one of the 7 original Sin gods in the god realm, a powerful first-level god, a first-level main god died and fell, and was killed by Chu Ye. ? Everyone was blinded, and the scene was extremely quiet. Everything happened too quickly, and even before everyone reacted, the god of jealousy was already dead. Chu Ye's strength exceeded everyone's imagination. They thought Chu Ye would be killed by the god of jealousy within 10 moves, but everything was exactly the opposite. It was the god of jealousy who was killed by Chu Ye within 10 moves. The god of jealousy. Die. How could it be like this? When Chu Ye fought the god of killing, he was obviously not that strong. How did he become so strong in less than 3 days? Hey. Is this real? Many gods have begun to doubt their eyes, wondering if there is something wrong with their eyes, or if they are dreaming. Some gods slap themselves frantically, trying to wake themselves up, but unfortunately, this is reality. So terrifying, countless gods took a breath of cold air, looking at the dead god of jealousy in shock. So far, more than 3 gods have died in Chu Ye's hands, 2 second-level gods, the god of sword and the god of killing, and 2 third-level gods, the god of the sea and the god of jealousy. For Chu Ye, who has no godhood, this is undoubtedly a very brilliant record. Did you see it clearly, Shura? The god of destruction said to Shura with a gloomy face. Well, the magic sword he released just now is a magic sword that may have reached the level of a super magic weapon. Judging from the aura, it is almost the same as our 5 super magic weapons, said Shura in a deep voice. Chapter 461. Too strong. This kid is really too strong. Super artifact. This kid has had this super artifact for a long time, but he has been hiding it until now. The god of destruction looked unhappy. No one dared to underestimate Chu Ye now. His power was enough to make all gods, including the God King, pay attention to him. But for the god of destruction, the power Chu Ye showed now is far from enough to defeat him. The god of destruction was naturally full of confidence. But for some reason, the god of destruction had begun to feel a little uneasy. Too strong. This kid is really too strong. He actually killed the god of jealousy within 10 moves. Damn, the god of jealousy is too careless. No, to be precise, we all underestimated this kid. At this moment, the 7 gods of original sin also looked very ugly. They also put away their contempt and arrogance. One by one, they were originally relaxed, but suddenly became nervous and tense as if facing a big enemy. Chu Ye killed the god of jealousy without hesitation. In addition, the killing of the god of jealousy in such a short time had a very strong deterrent effect on the 7 original sin gods. They immediately felt a sense of death and a feeling that the opponent was stronger than themselves, a feeling that they would fail and could not win. Although the god of jealousy underestimated Chu Ye's strength and was completely overwhelmed in the first round of head-on confrontation, he was killed by Chu Ye's all-out attack. To put it bluntly, it was because of the mistake in the first blow that the opponent seized the opportunity, and he died before he could even use his own strength. But everyone also knew very well that Chu Ye could kill a first-level god in this way, so his strength was undoubtedly strong. So strong that all first-level gods must be extremely serious and fight, otherwise, they will be defeated because of the slightest mistake. Please put away your contempt, otherwise it will become your fatal weakness. The 7 gods of original sin. Ha, who's next? Keep going. Chu Ye's voice sounded, with a slight smile on his face, with absolute confidence. He was like the absolute king on the scene, looking down on the gods with an invincible attitude, and now, Chu Ye is indeed qualified to look down on all the gods. The more absolute confidence he had, the more doubts the remaining 6 gods of original sin had in their hearts. This kid. At this moment, the remaining 6 gods of original sin all looked very solemn and fearful. They looked at each other and no longer fought over who would go on stage first, but thought about who would go on stage first. Because they were no longer absolutely sure that they could defeat Chu Ye, they wanted the second one to make a move and play all of Chu Ye's trump cards, so as to get more information about Chu Ye. After all, it ended too quickly and too simply, so they didn't know Chu Ye well enough. Seeing that the other 5 didn't seem to have any intention to attack, the god of pride stood up, his face still full of arrogance. Oh, you're already trapped? I was jealous of that guy, but I was careless and let this guy succeed and kill him easily. Fight openly, it won't be that easy for him to defeat any of us. Since you were afraid, I will be the second one to go up, and I will finish him off. Wait. Pride. The god of desire called out to the god of pride. What? The god of pride stopped. You'd better not go on stage first. The god of desire looked at the arrogant god of pride and said bluntly. Among the 7 gods of original sin, the most recognized one is the god of desire, but in fact, the strength of the god of pride and the god of wrath is similar to that of the god of desire. But pride and wrath are too different from the god of desire in terms of psychology and reason. A person with a very arrogant personality, who gets a little sweetness or has an advantage, will easily become arrogant and look down on his opponent. A person who is very angry will easily lose his mind and lose his cool because of being too angry. This is where the god of arrogance and the god of anger are not as good as the god of desire. This is also why the god of desire is the strongest among the 7 original sin gods. From the time Chu Ye challenged the 2nd level god and the 3rd level god, including the battles in which he easily killed the god of jealousy, the god of desire had actually seen it a long time ago. Chu Ye is a person who knows how to attack the heart and how to use the opponent's weaknesses to fight strategically. If the god of arrogance is allowed to play first, his arrogant weakness will become a fatal problem. The god of arrogance must be made aware of Chu Ye's strength. Now they do not have a comprehensive grasp of Chu Ye's power. It is best to let the god of original sin, who is at the bottom of the power, go out to test the water and find out the power of Ye. Why? Do you think I will lose to him? The god of arrogance said arrogantly. Each of us 7 people represent one of the 7 deadly sins, and we have the same title. We all prosper together and we all suffer together. If you fail, it's nothing. If the 7 of us are defeated collectively, it will be an eternal shame for us 7 deadly sin gods. Don't underestimate him. We'd better send out a person with a medium or lower strength to find out his details, and then send out the strong among us to defeat him in one fell swoop. the god of desire said. Everyone understood this sentence. The god of desire meant that the weak ones should go up and fight first. It would be best if they win. If they can't win, let the strong ones see the details clearly. After they understand more, they can take action to solve it. The 7 deadly sin gods are very familiar with each other. They know who is strong and who is weak. Seeing this, the god of laziness shrugged lazily. Okay, then I'll go first. Lazy, try to prolong the battle. Only in this way can we see more clearly. The god of desire reminded. The god of laziness yawned, looking not in good spirits. Oh, what a trouble, I'll do my best. The next second, the god of laziness soared into the air and landed in front of Chu Ye. Boy, let me play with you now. The god of laziness still looked lazy, even though he was on the stage, he still looked listless. He didn't seem to care about the death of the god of jealousy. And those original sin gods didn't seem to have any anger, resentment, or even revenge in their eyes because Chu Ye killed the god of jealousy. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 462, Chu Ye versus the God of Laziness. Play? I don't want to play with you. Chu Ye said, and released the super artifact Dragon God Sword again. The first time Chu Ye's Dragon God Sword appeared in the world, he killed a first-level god. Such a glorious worldly event added a touch of color to this super artifact Dragon God Sword. When the Dragon God Sword appeared again, the lazy god finally flashed a fearful look in his eyes. Interesting, I thought that the scepter with strong defensive ability you had before was your artifact, but I didn't expect you to have such a super god sword. From the aura it exudes, it's probably also a super artifact, right? Yes, this sword is called Dragon God Sword, super artifact level. Chu Ye said lightly. Tear. It's really a super artifact level. This kid actually already has a super artifact. As soon as these words came out, the gods took a breath of cold air. Although everyone had some guesses, they were still surprised and shocked to get Chu Ye's confirmation. You know, there are many artifacts in the god realm, but only 5 of them have reached the level of super artifacts. They are in the hands of the 5 great gods. The Dragon God Sword in Chu Ye's hand will become the 6th super artifact in the world. You are worthy at being the successor of the Dragon God. TSK, super artifact, interesting, let me see how powerful the super artifact Dragon God Sword in your hand is, can it be on par with the super artifacts of the 5 great gods? The god of laziness finally ignited a bit of fighting spirit. Oh, then you have to watch carefully. Chu Ye smiled, and the next second, the terrifying Dragon God power had risen on the Dragon God Sword. The absolutely powerful aura of the super artifact was released instantly. The face of the god of laziness changed drastically, and subconsciously, he wanted to retreat 50 meters quickly. Ha, I haven't made a move yet, you hide so fast. Are you scared? Chu Ye smiled contemptuously. This smile immediately made the face of the god of laziness red. Yes, he was scared away by the Dragon God Sword, which made him feel a little embarrassed. And Chu Ye's contemptuous smile aroused the displeasure in the heart of the god of laziness, and the next second, he killed instantly. I would be afraid of you. Are you kidding me? Hectares. Chu Ye also raised the Dragon God Sword in his hand and rushed forward. Now in a competition of frontal strength, Chu Ye was not afraid of any of the 7 original sin gods. Under the frontal strength, Chu Ye had almost reached the strongest state among the first-level gods. The situation was very similar to the god of jealousy just now. Both sides were rushing towards each other at a very fast speed. But after the 2 sides approached a certain distance, the god of laziness disappeared in an instant, and appeared on the side of Chu Ye, and then attacked from the left. Don't dare to fight me head-on. Chu Ye smiled in his heart. When he didn't use the Dragon God Sword just now, the god of jealousy was beaten away by Chu Ye. The god of laziness didn't dare to confront him head-on again, and he would definitely change the angle, which was all within Chu Ye's expectations. So the reaction was also very fast, and he cut the god of laziness from the side in an instant. Bang! What a strong force! Just a single blow knocked me away instantly. In a head-on confrontation, I am definitely not his opponent. The body of the god of laziness was cut back 100 meters, and his feet rubbed against the ground for 100 meters before he stopped. He stabilized his posture and immediately launched an attack, but he would absolutely avoid a head-on collision with Chu Ye. Chu Ye also followed. Since the opponent wanted to avoid a head-on confrontation, Chu Ye forced the opponent to go head-on. Bang 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 bang. Boom boom boom. The two sides began to fight fiercely together, a crazy confrontation, duel, and exchange of moves. For a while, the fight was indistinguishable, but it can be seen that Chu Ye had the advantage from the beginning. In less than 3 minutes, Chu Ye completely suppressed the god of laziness and suppressed him. Chu Ye's toughness and terror were truly revealed at this moment. So strong. Too strong. I can't stand it if you keep fighting like this. The face of the god of laziness was extremely ugly. In this high-frequency melee killing, he, a first-level god, was actually completely suppressed. He could only barely resist and contend. Even if he was distracted, missed, or made a mistake, he might be seriously injured by Chu Ye's terrifying Dragon God sword. In the process, he had to maintain a high level of concentration, and his reaction ability and speed were close to his limit. Once he was a little slower, something would happen. No one could always maintain this extreme and absolutely focused state. After a long time, he would definitely be slashed by a sword. We must keep a distance from him. The god of laziness found the opportunity and immediately pulled away and distanced himself. But he found that Chu Ye had come behind him in the next moment. This is space transfer. In this case, he can use space transfer and come to the right attack range so accurately. This kid's luck with space is extremely good. The god of laziness exclaimed in his heart and turned around to resist Chu Ye's attack. Bang! Boom boom boom. The body of the god of laziness was knocked away again, and he immediately released the domain. Lazy domain. This domain skill will make the opponent quickly become lazy, and even those with very weak will lose their fighting spirit directly because of too much trouble and laziness. The longer the time, the stronger the original sin of laziness will be. Chu Ye sneered in his heart and rushed into it directly, still with an absolutely powerful offensive, rushing in. The god of fire said that the 7 original sin gods will make the opponent gradually fall into their original sin. Laziness. The longer the battle, the lazier Chu Ye will become. Laziness is also a very deadly original sin, so when Chu Ye fights with the 7 original sin gods again, he will never delay time, and will burst out with the strongest power at the beginning to solve the opponent at the fastest speed. But Chu Ye is not afraid of the original sin of laziness at all. After Chu Ye rushed in, he also maintained a high-intensity offensive without any delay. The two sides fought for 10 minutes, but what surprised the god of laziness was that Chu Ye was not affected by his lazy domain at all. This kid has a strong will, so let's try this trick. A strange light instantly shot from the hand of the god of laziness to the sky, and then exploded, and the lazy aura filled the whole place. Those auras began to penetrate Chu Ye's skin and body invisibly. Chapter 463. In my life dictionary, there is no word lazy. Chu Ye finally stopped attacking for the first time and stayed where he was. It worked. Very good. The god of laziness breathed a sigh of relief, and was delighted. A bit of evil smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Ha ha, Chu Ye, we have been fighting for so long and are tired. Why don't we temporarily stop fighting and sit down to rest for a while? It will be more comfortable, don't you think? I won't do it, and you won't do it either. How about we sit down and be lazy for a while? This is the skill move of the god of laziness that can instantly make the opponent lazy, which will directly affect the opponent's mind. Coupled with verbal stimulation, it will instantly make the opponent feel that being lazy for a while is also a very good thing. When the opponent becomes lazy and accepts his proposal, the god of laziness can take advantage of the opportunity to sneak in and hit the enemy hard in one fell swoop. Okay. I'm indeed tired, so let's rest for a while. Chu Ye shrugged indifferently and sat directly on the ground. Ha ha, I thought your willpower was so strong, but it's just like this. The god of laziness was careless. Chu Ye's reaction showed that his skills had been fully played, and once they took effect, the opponent's lazy sin would quickly become stronger and stronger. The god of laziness sneered in his heart, and slowly sat down to rest. He could take this opportunity to catch his breath and quickly think about the next battle plan. The originally fierce battle suddenly turned into 2 people sitting down to rest, and this sitting lasted for 3 minutes. The god of laziness could clearly feel that Chu Ye's vigilance against him was becoming weaker and weaker, and he had even begun to stop guarding against him. The god of laziness knew that his chance had come. Hehe, young people are young people after all. It is normal that your willpower is not as strong as that of God, and you have also inherited the throne of the Dragon God, such an opportunity and luck, and such a genius. How can someone like you work so hard? Laziness probably occupies a large part of your life. The god of laziness sneered in his heart, self-righteously defining. The lazier and lazier people are, the more likely they are to fall into the lazy sin and be affected. In the eyes of the god of laziness, Chu Ye is extremely talented and has a very strong luck. With the inheritance of the dragon god, his life must be smooth sailing. He can become stronger by practicing casually. How can someone who can become stronger casually work so hard? The god of laziness is not completely ignorant of Chu Ye. He knows that Chu Ye comes from the blue immortal realm, the strongest soul master force, the spirit hall. With such a strong background, status and talent, what pressure does such a life have, and why must he work hard and be diligent? Therefore, the god of laziness guessed that Chu Ye must have been lazy all his life, so he fell into his trap so quickly. It seems that you, the successor of the dragon god, Chu Ye, will eventually be defeated by me today. Ha 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 ha. I'm tired too. I'll beat you and go back to have a good sleep. The god of laziness laughed in his heart. During this process, he had already secretly prepared his strength, waiting for the best time to launch an attack instantly. And now is the time. The god of laziness did not delay any longer, and mobilized the power that had been secretly prepared, and instantly launched his strongest attack. Boy, this game is over. The god of laziness burst out with the strongest power in an instant, and attacked at a high speed, with excitement on his face. You're already glorious enough to fight all the way here. You have no regrets to lose to me, the god of laziness. Fall down. It was also at that moment that Chu Ye, who was originally defenseless and a little lazy, suddenly showed an evil smile on his face. Hey, didn't we agree that I won't do it, and you won't do it either, and we'll rest for a while? What are you going to do? You. Seeing the sudden evil smile on Chu Ye's face, the god of laziness felt like he was going to explode. The next second, Chu Ye's body suddenly rose with terrifying power. I said, I will beat you 7 gods of original sin, defeat the god of destruction, and break through this world of gods. How can I, Chu Ye, lose to you? Deep Sea Demon Whale Soul Bone Skill. Demon Whale Backlash. At this moment, Chu Ye's Soul Bone skill has been released. How is it possible? Seeing the evil smile on Chu Ye's face, the god of laziness was already confused. When he saw the energy that Chu Ye instantly rose, the god of laziness seemed to understand something and said with an ugly face, You are kidding me. You were just pretending just now. Heh, what do you think? Chu Ye sneered. Bang. Boom boom boom. At this moment, the strongest blow of the god of laziness hit Chu Ye, but it was completely absorbed by the effect of the demon whale backlash, and converted into 80% of the power, rebounding back to the opponent. Wow. The god of laziness was backlashed by the demon whale, and 80% of the power was released, and he was instantly beaten into the sky. At that moment, the whole body of the god of laziness burst into blood, and with a loud scream, his body flew hundreds of meters into the air. If I don't pretend, how can I lure you into the trap? Chu Ye sneered. Everything he did just now was naturally a disguise. This is impossible. No matter how strong your willpower is, you will be affected by the power of my original sin. The god of laziness looked extremely ugly and said weakly. In my life dictionary, there is never the word lazy. Chu Ye's domineering voice echoed in the world. The next second, his body had soared into the sky, waving the dragon god sword in his hand, and slashed at the chest of the god of laziness with the sword in the air hundreds of meters above. This sword will end you. Puff. The dragon god sword. It slashed fiercely on the chest of the god of laziness. His entire chest was almost cut open, and several of his internal bones were cut off. Naturally, the first-level god costume outside was also broken at that moment. With blood gushing out of his chest, the body of the god of laziness was instantly cut off from the ground. With a bang, the body fell heavily to the ground. The god of laziness completely lost his ability to fight and could no longer stand up to fight. The winner has been decided. Chu Ye won another game. Damn it. The god of laziness covered his chest, unwilling to accept it, but in fact he was convinced in his heart. He naturally knew that Chu Ye had not yet used his full strength, and he also understood that he could not be Chu Ye's opponent. There was just one thing that made the god of laziness feel very uncomfortable. You won. It's just that I don't understand why you are not affected by my original sin of laziness. A genius with excellent luck and talent like you shouldn't. Chapter 464. 4 first-level gods were defeated, and a tough battle is coming. Chu Ye's body then fell from the air. He stood in front of the god of laziness and answered the other party's question. My luck is indeed good, and my talent in the Douluo mortal realm is indeed an excellent talent, but I have never been so unobstructed and pressure-free in my life. If I dared to be lazy for a little bit, maybe I would have died long ago. If I don't work hard enough, maybe I don't have the qualification to come to the god realm and stand here to fight with you gods. Chu Ye really didn't rest much in his life. He was lazy all the way. He basically kept moving forward under pressure and kept working hard to grow under pressure. From the 3 beds with Qian Renxue for 2.5 years at the beginning, to the experience of the Slaughter City, he also had to face the pressure from Snake Spear Douluo and Tang Dao at the time. After that, he obtained the position of Dragon God and began the Dragon God assessment. Later, the Sea God intervened and faced the pressure of the Sea God, and then he had to face the pressure of the God realm. Which thing did not require him to practice hard and work hard to become stronger. He has almost always been moving forward against the wind under pressure. He dare not be lazy, because his life is bound to Qian Renxue. He can only become stronger with all his strength to protect himself and Qian Renxue. How dare he have the idea of being lazy? Laziness does not have much weight in Chu Ye's life. So, how can Chu Ye easily fall into the original sin of laziness? Really? I guessed wrong. I lost, completely lost. The god of laziness said with a convinced face. He didn't know what Chu Ye had experienced in his life, but he could feel from his eyes that what Chu Ye said was true. He walked out of the duel field alone with an extremely heavy body, step by step. There are 5 left. Chu Ye looked at the other 5 original Sing gods outside the field and sat down on the spot. After defeating 2 original Sing gods in a row, Chu Ye's state was also consumed. Although he seemed to win these 2 games very easily, it was actually because he fought with all his strength from the beginning, so it ended so quickly. This kind of full-strength battle, although short, is extremely intense and naturally consumes energy very quickly. Laziness still didn't allow us to see his true strength. At this moment, the faces of the 7 original Sing gods became more and more ugly. Who's next? Let me do it. The active god of gluttony stood up. The god of desire reminded. Greedy, I think your task now is not to defeat him, but to force him to have more power. I know how to do it. About an hour later, Chu Ye finished recovering and continued to challenge. I, the god of gluttony, will meet you. Come on. Chu Ye looked calm. Chu Ye started a fierce battle again. This time, the god of greed has launched a shameless style of play, completely avoiding active attacks, and using a defensive posture to prolong the battle time and delay time, trying to force Chu Ye to use stronger moves and defeat him. In an instant, the battle changed from the fierce fighting in the first 2 games to a less intense delaying battle. But as the battle lasted longer, Chu Ye's terrifying recovery ability and endurance were fully demonstrated. The further the fight went, the weaker the state of the god of gluttony became. Either Chu Ye was affected by the original sin of gluttony, or the god of greed was exhausted by Chu Ye, resulting in poor condition and no longer being able to delay that battle against Chu Ye. And when the battle lasted for an hour, the god of gluttony finally couldn't maintain the initial best condition and couldn't fight a longer protracted battle. Gluttony was almost trapped in a situation where it was completely suppressed by Chu Ye, so he could only choose to fight hard in the end. So, the god of gluttony soon fought fiercely with Chu Ye. After a fierce battle, the god of gluttony was finally defeated and was knocked to the ground by Chu Ye with a punch. But this battle also successfully allowed the 7 gods of original Sing to see more of Chu Ye's abilities. There are 4 more. I'll be the next one. The god of greed shouted loudly and rushed down the duel field. I, the god of greed, will fight you. Come on. Bang bang bang. The opponent still used the tactics of the previous one, and the time was stretched again. More than an hour later. The 3rd style of the god and demon sword technique, slay that demon god. Get down. Puff. Bang. Boom boom boom. The god of greed screamed and smashed his body to the ground. His whole body was covered with bruises and blood, and he was in an extremely miserable state. Chu Ye was panting slightly, and his momentum was still surging. The god of greed was also solved by Chu Ye's final move, and fell to the ground with heavy injuries. Win again. This kid won again. Chu Ye defeated another original Sing god again. Until now, the 4 original Sing gods of greed, gluttony, jealousy, and laziness have all been defeated, and the time has come to the 7th hour. There are only 3 opponents left. Damn it. This guy has already defeated 4 original Sing gods. Could he really defeat the 7 original Sing gods? Damn it. Why is this guy so strong? Could he really stand in front of the god of destruction? The gods were more and more upset, uneasy. Keep going. Chu Ye's domineering voice rang out again. Among the 7 original Sing gods, only the 3 strongest ones are left, the god of pride, the god of wrath, and the god of desire. If the power of the previous 4 original Sing gods was only in the middle and lower levels of the first level gods, then the remaining 3 were in the upper middle level, or even the middle and high levels of the first level gods. Chu Ye's peak power was basically at this stage, not much stronger than them. Chu Ye's many skills were used many times, and although he had time to recover, continuing to fight would gradually put his body into an overloaded state. Next, it's a tough battle. Chu Ye thought to himself. Soon, another one of the 7 original Sing gods stood up. This time, it was finally the turn of the god of pride. Seeing Chu Ye defeat 4 original Sing gods in a row, the god of pride was no longer as arrogant as he was at the beginning. He was no longer arrogant, and even said that he was no longer qualified to be arrogant in front of Chu Ye. I must devote all my strength to defeat this kid. The god of pride was serious in his heart and soon came to Chu Ye. As soon as the god of pride came on the court, he also went all out and reached his peak strength. Boy, the power of the 4 original Sings of laziness, jealousy, gluttony, and greed has no effect on you. Then, my original sin of pride, I don't believe that a genius like you doesn't have a trace of the sin of pride. I want to see if my original sin of pride can affect you. The god of pride said. Chapter 465 Chu Ye versus the god of arrogance. The 7 original Sing gods will make the opponent fall into their original Sing power invisibly. How strong the effect is and whether it works depends on the opponent's situation. Everyone has 7 original sins, such as desire, greed, anger, and arrogance. The stronger the original sin, the easier it is to be affected. After 4 battles, Chu Ye is basically immune to the 3 original sins of jealousy, gluttony, and laziness. The original sin of greed is still obviously effective on Chu Ye. It's a pity that the power of the god of greed is a little weak and he can't defeat Chu Ye. But the god of arrogance is much stronger than the god of greed in terms of combat power and strength. As long as Chu Ye can fall into the original sin of arrogance, then his winning rate is still very high. Ha, we will know after fighting. Chu Ye shrugged and did not deny the words of the god of arrogance. Because indeed, a genius like him at the level of a demon cannot be arrogant. Therefore, the original sin of arrogance is a threat to Chu Ye. Chu Ye must solve the god of arrogance faster, otherwise, he is likely to be affected by the original sin of arrogance. The 2 sides were about to fight, and soon they started fighting. In this duel arena, Chu Ye had already started the 5th round of fighting. The power and fighting ability of the god of pride were already very strong. When Chu Ye fought the first 4, he almost suppressed them all the time, and halfway through the fight, he was completely suppressed. But facing the god of pride, he was almost evenly matched, but he only had the upper hand from time to time, and his suppression of the god of pride was not strong. This also means that Chu Ye's time and energy to defeat the god of pride will be longer than the previous 4, and it will be more difficult. Ha. Bang. Bang. Bang bang. Boom boom boom. Various skills were madly bombarded, and the 2 sides fought fiercely. Unknowingly, the battle between Chu Ye and the god of pride had been going on for nearly 2 hours. Chu Ye and the god of pride had left many wounds, and their bodies were covered with scars. They were also more or less severely injured by him, leaving internal injuries. Their state, energy, and physical strength were also beginning to approach the limit. But if they continue to fight at this pace, both sides know that it must be the state of the god of pride that will be exhausted first. Chu Ye's endurance is really terrifying. But what the gods don't know is that Chu Ye's endurance has not yet reached the terrifying point, and it has not yet been truly opened, because now he has not yet activated the passive effect of the Phoenix. Now the Phoenix trunk bone, which is a million-year-old god-level soul bone, has a passive effect. Once it is hit, all states and injuries can be restored to 100%. Moreover, after the passive effect is activated, he can also use the million-year-old god-level soul bone skill, the Phoenix body. This move will enter the immortal state within 10 minutes, and restore 30% of the state every minute. This is one of Chu Ye's biggest killer moves that has not been exposed so far. Therefore, Chu Ye has the confidence that he will win, and all the 7 gods of original Sing will be defeated by the god of pride. What Chu Ye has to do now is to keep the passive effect of the Phoenix and hide it until he fights the god of destruction. It seemed that the god of pride was almost doomed to fail, but he was full of confidence because he knew that Chu Ye had been gradually infiltrated by the original sin of pride. As long as he held on for a while longer, Chu Ye would definitely be affected by the original sin of pride and reveal flaws. And the current situation for the god of pride was that either he was exhausted by Chu Ye, or Chu Ye was affected by the original sin of pride and revealed flaws. 9th soul skill, God and Demon Destruction. Fist of Pride. Ha ha. Bang. Boom boom boom. The two terrifying forces bombarded each other again, and under this blow, the god of pride was hit hard again. This time, the god of pride was almost about to lose his ability to fight, but at this time, Chu Ye was finally affected by the power of the original sin of pride. Chu Ye actually took the initiative to lose a great opportunity and revealed a flaw. God of pride. Do you still need to resist? I think you know in your heart that you will definitely lose this battle. Don't make any more useless resistance. Chu Ye actually gave up. He could have ended the god of pride directly in this wave, but he did not choose to pursue the victory. Instead, he stopped the rhythm of attack. He faced the god of pride in a very relaxed and unprepared state. This was almost a low-level mistake that Chu Ye would never make, but at this moment, it happened. Chu Ye himself did not realize it. This is the terrible thing about the power of the 7 original Sin gods. He can make his opponent fall into the arrogant god of original sin without knowing it. The god of pride has been waiting for this moment and has been preparing for this moment in advance until his chance came. At that moment when Chu Ye was relaxed, he had already taken action. My chance has finally come, kid. You are defeated after all. Get down. Ha. At that moment, the god of pride immediately burst out with all his remaining strength, intending to completely defeat Chu Ye in this wave of counterattack. The god of pride used a move that had never been used in this battle, which caught Chu Ye, who was already in a relaxed state due to the original sin of pride, off guard for a moment. Although Chu Ye blocked this attack in time, he could not withstand the punch that was coming immediately. Bang. Boom. Puff. The terrifying punch of the god of pride hit Chu Ye's abdomen heavily, directly knocking Chu Ye's body from midair to the ground. Bang. He fell to the ground on the spot. Actually, at this moment, Chu Ye, who was knocked to the ground by a punch, had completely sobered up, and he also realized his abnormal behavior just now. But at this moment, the god of pride had released all the energy in his body and launched the most terrifying blow to kill. Ha 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 ha. Too late, kid, you're doomed. It's all over. Ha. Hush. We won. We're finally going to win. All the gods who wanted to see Chu Ye die were excited again. All stood up. They were ready to cheer. These gods generally wouldn't stand up and cheer easily now, because Chu Ye had been slapping them in their face, and it was beyond their expectations time and time again. That group of gods didn't dare to stand up and cheer in advance. Otherwise, they would have to sit down in extreme disappointment later, which would be too uncomfortable. But now Chu Ye's defeat rate is basically a foregone conclusion. They have seen the victory. They saw it. But just when they were about to celebrate the victory, the result was beyond their expectations again. Chapter 466. Angered bonus, Chu Ye beats up the angry god. Just when the most terrifying power of the god of pride was about to hit Chu Ye released another artifact, the Mask of Pain, at his limit. The Mask of Pain is also a defensive artifact, and it has extremely strong defensive energy. Stop him, Mask of Pain. Bang. The Mask of Pain resisted and dissolved the power of the god of pride, allowing Chu Ye to avoid the result of the Phoenix's passive state being triggered. Yes, the gods thought that the attack of the god of pride would completely defeat Chu Ye, but they didn't know that this move would only trigger Chu Ye's passive effect at most. Fuck. Seeing that the power of the god of pride hit a mask similar to Defensor, but still didn't end Chu Ye, the gods smashed the pot again, and were once again extremely disappointed. They were so uncomfortable that they instantly wilted and sat down again. You actually have another artifact. The god of pride was also stupid. There are so many things you can't imagine. Chu Ye sneered and immediately launched a counterattack. In the end, he slashed the chest of the god of pride with his sword. Puff. The dragon god sword slashed the chest of the god of pride, and blood spurted from his chest, and he finally fell to the ground. The battle was over, and Chu Ye won another battle. Chu Ye breathed a sigh of relief. It was a close call. The passive effect of the Phoenix Soul Bone just now was almost hit by the god of pride. The power of this original sin is really difficult to deal with. Chu Ye was very clear about his current state, almost approaching the critical point of passive effect activation. This battle also made him deeply aware of the threat of the power of original sin, because the previous original sins did not work for Chu Ye, but the original sin of pride was affected by it. Only after being hit, can the terribleness of it be intensified. It seems that in the next 2 battles, I must put more effort to stabilize my mind, Chu Ye thought in his heart, and he sat down again to recover. This battle caused Chu Ye to suffer serious internal injuries, and he had to spend more time to recover. How many artifacts does this kid have? The gods all looked unacceptable. They couldn't imagine that a person without a god actually possessed the super artifact Dragon God Sword, the artifact, the Mask of Pain, the Moon God, and so many artifacts. You know, most of the second level gods don't have artifacts. How many cards does this kid have hidden? Looking at Chu Ye who was recovering, the face of the god of destruction was uncertain. When Chu Ye adjusted his state back, more than 2 hours had passed. The total time has also reached the 12th hour. Chu Ye glanced at the time not far away, and there were still 12 hours left. Within 12 hours, there are still 2 more to fight, and there is basically no problem in time. Chu Ye challenged again. Only 2 gods of original sin were left. The god of desire and the god of anger looked at each other, and finally the god of anger stood up. Chu Ye, the god of wrath, was not worried. What made him feel difficult was the original sin of the god of desire. Desire included many things, and according to the understanding of the god of fire, the original sin of the god of desire was lust. That's right, there is no man in the world who is not lustful, and Chu Ye is no exception, so this original sin is basically useful to everyone. In terms of strength, Chu Ye is confident that he can defeat the god of desire, but he is worried that he will fall into the original sin of desire without knowing it. Let's defeat the enemy in front of us first. Chu Ye retracted his mind and immediately started a fierce battle with the god of wrath. The power of the god of wrath and the god of pride is equally strong. For Chu Ye, it is still a protracted battle. Unknowingly, the 2 sides have been fighting fiercely for more than an hour. The original sin of anger began to affect Chu Ye's emotions. He also expected that he might be affected, so in the process of fighting, he released the Mask of Pain again. The Mask of Pain has its own magical skill, Painful Torture. This trick can constantly torture the opponent's spirit, but if you want to use it on yourself, it is also possible. Chu Ye can control the intensity of his mental torture, and use the pain to keep himself awake to a certain extent, resist the original sin of anger, and at least not completely fall into the original sin of anger. This is a method that Chu Ye thought of temporarily to resist the power of the original sin. Although he cannot be completely immune, it can at least have a good effect. This method is also useful for dealing with the original sin of desire. Chu Ye, wearing a mask of pain, holding the Dragon God Sword, attacked the god of anger with great madness and anger. Die. 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 Ah! Bang bang bang. Chu Ye became more and more crazy, fierce, cruel, and even stronger as he fought. He had no weaknesses, which frightened the gods around him. Yes, Chu Ye in anger was like an enraged beast. Chu Ye in anger was more fierce and powerful than usual. Coupled with the pain of the Mask of Pain, he always kept a bit of reason and sobriety. The original sin that caused anger not only did not affect Chu Ye, but also added buffs to him, making him more powerful. Die. Chu Ye grabbed the god of angry's hair with one hand and smashed his head and face with his knees. Bang, bang, bang. Go to hell. Hey, ah. Chu Ye grabbed the god of angry's head and smashed it to the ground with one hand. Bang. Boom, boom, boom. Ah, ah, ah. The god of angry screamed miserably, his head hit the ground violently, bleeding on the spot, and his body bounced in the air due to the impact. Dragon God Sword Divine Skill, Dragon God Endless Slash. At this moment, the shadow of the Dragon God seemed to appear again behind Chu Ye. The shadow of the Dragon God transformed into the terrifying power of the Dragon God, and with Chu Ye's sword, it slashed at the god of angry. Bang. Boom, boom, boom. Ah! At that moment, blood burst out of the god of anger's body, and he was instantly chopped and flew 1,000 meters away, smashing directly into the stone wall at the edge of the duel field, and smashing through the stone wall on the spot. This is a move that Chu Ye has not yet demonstrated, and it is also one of the most powerful skills that Chu Ye has mastered so far. Oh my god. The power of this attack directly shocked the whole audience, and even the 5 great gods felt deeply threatened. What a terrible power. This kid can actually exert such power. The god of destruction looked grim. So terrifying. The winner has been decided, and Chu Ye has won another victory. There is only one last one. Chu Ye's face was cruel. Now the opponent standing in front of him is the last god of desire. Chapter 467 Qian Renxue. If you dare to have any thoughts about her, I will teach you a lesson. At this moment, the god of wrath was covered in blood, his eyes were rolling, his body was twitching, and he had completely lost consciousness. Under this blow, the god of wrath was completely destroyed. Because of the serious injuries, his consciousness was damaged, and even his position as a god was damaged. He could never recover his former peak. From now on, the god of wrath might be directly downgraded to the ranks of the second-level gods. Chu Ye panted violently. He took back the mask of pain, and the fierce expression on his face gradually calmed down. Seeing such a crazy Chu Ye, the gods were once again shocked by Chu Ye's power and were more afraid of him. Only the god of desire is left. Can we stop this kid? The gods have lost confidence. In their opinion, Chu Ye is now invincible, and the god of desire will most likely lose. He really wants to break through the 7 original Sin gods and finally embark on a battle with the god of destruction. The last one is left, the god of desire. Chu Ye glanced at the woman outside the field, and then sat down again. After 6 battles, among the 7 original Sin gods, 1 was killed by Chu Ye, 1 was crippled by Chu Ye, and his position was damaged and downgraded to the second-level god, and 4 were seriously injured. The last one left was the god of desire. Chu Ye did not have a 100% chance of winning against the god of desire. If it really didn't work, he could only expose the passive effect of the phoenix in advance. After recovering, Chu Ye stood up again. There is only one last game left, I must defeat her. After 6 battles, Chu Ye's body and many skills and abilities were almost in a load state. Although he recovered, his body and muscles would obviously feel pain. This is the hidden side effect left after frequent high-intensity battles. Even if the state is restored, it will still exist. As long as you endure the pain, it will not have much impact. I don't know how Zwe is doing. Chu Ye suddenly thought of Qian Renxue. She is still in the mortal world, feeling the power of the God King. Chu Ye knew that if Qian Renxue entered the God King realm, he would have even more terrifying power when he began to share power. Therefore, it can at least be said that Qian Renxue has not yet realized the God King realm. To realize the realm, one needs to devote oneself wholeheartedly, focus, and concentrate. Although Chu Ye wanted to know about Qian Renxue's situation, he did not choose to disturb her. But just when Chu Ye thought of Qian Renxue's voice coincidentally sounded in his mind. Chu Ye, have you defeated the 7 original Sin gods? Qian Renxue took the initiative to contact Chu Ye through the mind communication shared by the contract. Chu Ye immediately replied, Zwe, now there is only one last god of desire left. I knew you would be fine. Qian Renxue encouraged. Zwe, how is your situation over there? Are you about to realize the God King realm? Soon, I have confidence that I will realize the God King realm before we fight the god of destruction. Qian Renxue responded very affirmatively. Chu Ye nodded. That's good, when you step into the realm of God King, we will have hope of defeating the God King of destruction, but before that, I must defeat the god of desire first. However, the original sin of lust of the god of desire may be a problem for me to defeat her, so it's a bit troublesome. Humph. If you dare to have lustful thoughts about the god of desire, I will show you how I will teach you a lesson then. Qian Renxue said with a warning look. He, I dare not. Chu Ye hurriedly exclaimed. Zwe, of course I won't have any lustful thoughts about her. But I'm a little worried that when she uses the power of the original sin of desire, she will turn into your appearance, or the object and picture of the original sin of lust will be you. If this is the case, it will be troublesome. The only person in the world who can make me fall into the original sin of lust is you, Zwe. Okay. Stop talking nonsense. When you fight the god of desire later, I will call you through my mind from time to time to keep you awake as much as possible. No matter what she does to you after she turns into my appearance, it's fake. Fake, you know. Qian Renxue solemnly repeated the reminder twice. Okay, I know. Chu Ye nodded and ended Qian Renxue's mental communication. He stood up again and glanced at the time. The total time is now 17 hours, and there are still 7 hours left. This time is basically enough. He doesn't have to worry about the time problem and can fight with confidence. Then, continue. Chu Ye shouted loudly. At this time, the god of desire made a very charming voice, and the next second, her extremely sexy and enchanting figure was already standing in front of Chu Ye. Little handsome boy, you have to be gentle for a while, don't hurt me. Before the battle started, the god of desire had already tried to seduce Chu Ye. And on the god of desire, even if she didn't deliberately show such a charming posture and behavior, the aura she exuded could make ordinary priests fall into the god of desire and be unable to extricate themselves. Yes, the god of desire has the most profound control over his own original Sing power. At that moment, Chu Ye actually recalled the process and scene of him and Qian Renxue performing soul guides and martial soul fusion skills together. Is it so terrible? Just this, I have that idea. Chu Ye's heart was shocked and frowned. I don't like to hit women. If you were afraid of being hurt by me, then you should take the initiative to admit defeat. Chu Ye calmed down and said lightly. But I want to have some fun with you. The god of desire smiled charmingly, slowly approached Chu Ye, stretched out his jade hand and wanted to touch Chu Ye's cheek. But Chu Ye slammed him away and said coldly, let's start. Oh, you're such a boring man, but I like it, so let's have some fun. He, the god of desire, walked with his back to Chu Ye, twisted his buttocks and walked 10 meters away, then stopped and turned around. Then come on, the god of desire hooked his finger at Chu Ye, looking seductive. Desire domain. The next second, a pink domain aura instantly filled the entire venue. Before the battle really started, Chu Ye had already strongly felt the power of the original sin of desire. Chu Ye, don't be affected. Qian Renxue's voice sounded in his mind again, which calmed Chu Ye down a lot. He immediately took out the mask of pain and slowly put it on his face. Once again, he used the feeling of pain to reduce the penetration of the power of original sin. The power of the dragon god. Share the power. Chu Ye was in full swing again, his fighting spirit ignited, and he rushed towards the god of desire immediately. Chapter 468. You're so annoying. You've heard me. Gods and demons kill gods. Bang. Boom boom boom. Chu Ye started the last fight and fought fiercely with the god of desire. The power and combat effectiveness of the god of desire are actually similar to those of the god of anger and pride, but the god of desire has a stronger control over psychology and details. This makes the god of desire more difficult to deal with. Chu Ye fought with him for several rounds, and it was almost evenly matched, and it was difficult to tell who was better. The first time they started evenly, there was no one who suppressed who. In this evenly matched battle, the two sides fought for more than an hour, and still maintained a situation where it was difficult to tell who was better. Even the god of desire has excellent control over divine power, knows how to use divine power with the least power, and uses divine power reasonably to fight, and will also play to its strengths and avoid its weaknesses. These are all a kind of delay and endurance ability. Therefore, the god of desire's ability to fight for a long time will also be longer than that of anger and arrogance. In this case, it will be very difficult for Chu Ye to defeat the god of desire without activating the passive effect of the phoenix. The most important thing is that Chu Ye's original sin of desire is getting stronger and stronger. If it weren't for Qian Renxue calling him from time to time through telepathic communication, and the pain of the mask of pain, I'm afraid Chu Ye would have fallen into the original sin of desire at this moment. Very strong. The overall strength of this anger and desire is much higher. The god of desire is worthy at being the strongest among the 7 original Sing gods. Chu Ye said with a serious face. The next second, the powerful power of the dragon god gathered. Dragon god sword divine skill, dragon god endless slash. That move again. The face of the god of desire changed. Just now, the god of anger was defeated by Chu Ye's move. And the power of this move has basically surpassed them, the power limit of the 7 original Sing gods. The speed is too fast, and it is not easy to dodge. The god of desire can only take it hard. Cauldron of desire. A huge pink cauldron condensed and blocked the sword that was going to resist Chu Ye's horror. This is the strongest defensive skill of the god of desire, and it carries some attack power, but even though it is the strongest defensive skill, it could not block the power of Chu Ye's sword. It took less than 3 seconds. The pink cauldron was instantly shattered, but it also dissolved most of the power, so that when the god of desire endured it, it was not so strong. But in the end, it still hurt the god of desire. Bang. Boom. Ahem. The god of desire screamed, and even the screams were so tempting. You guy, you are so annoying, you hurt me. Even if the god of desire was injured, he still took the opportunity to provoke Chu Ye's desire. She has been laying the groundwork, affecting Chu Ye's original sin of desire bit by bit. During the whole battle, the little bit of superposition is actually a huge original Sing power. At this moment, Chu Ye is also more and more trapped in the original sin of desire. And this wave, the words and gestures of the god of desire made Chu Ye swallow his throat. This woman is really, the appearance of the god of desire is actually very beautiful. She is definitely a top goddess. Her looks are similar to Qian Renxue's. It can be said that they are indistinguishable, but the goddess of desire is the type of charming and enchanting. There are actually many top goddess level beauties in the god realm. If you go to the mortal realm, you will probably be a top goddess. This is actually because gods can make their skin flawless without a single flaw. So basically every female god has fair and tender skin, snow-white and silky. In terms of facial features and body shape, gods can also make certain modifications to make them look more beautiful. This feeling is like a woman in the mortal realm, which is the original picture of the camera without any modification or PS, while a woman in the god realm has been processed with PS to lighten her skin, slim her face and body. So, in this case, if you're already very beautiful, you'll be a top goddess. The goddess of desire has a good figure and excellent facial features. With her charming and sexy style and clothing, as well as the power of the original sin of desire, the charm of this woman in front of you is amazing. This type of woman can arouse men's desires and thoughts the most. If Chu Ye hadn't been wearing a painful mask and Qian Renxue's occasional calls, he would have been a little overwhelmed. Can you be serious? Stop being so coquettish. Chu Ye calmed down and said calmly. The god of desire smiled evilly. Not only did she not stop her behavior, but she became more and more excessive and unscrupulous while continuing to fight with Chu Ye. She even performed extremely indecent behavior in public. This made many male gods in the audience seats uneasy, but Chu Ye was still very stable. Well, you look very calm on the outside, but your heart has been restless for a long time, right? Am I right? Chu Ye, the god of desire, continued to stimulate Chu Ye's offensive with words. Chu Ye did not respond with an expressionless face and continued to attack the god of desire. Unknowingly, the battle had come to 3 hours, and the two sides were still evenly matched, with no winner. But in fact, when Chu Ye was fighting against the original sin of desire, his body had already entered an overloaded state. Now his body and muscles were all very sore. After all, Chu Ye had fought 7 games in a row. Even if his body had reached the level of God, he would not be able to bear it. But he did not show his current overloaded state of body, and remained calm, insisting on fighting. He did not listen to the words of the god of desire. There was only one thought in his mind: to defeat. To win. God and demon sword technique, the third style, slay that demon god. Ah. Bang. Boom boom boom. The god of desire blocked Chu Ye's powerful attack again. Both sides stayed in place, panting heavily. Both sides' brains were also thinking and turning quickly. The last move: if I still can't defeat this woman, then I can only activate the passive effect of the Phoenix. Chu Ye thought to himself. After so long, he can still maintain his sanity under my original sin of desire. If this continues, I'm afraid I can't hold on for much longer. There is no other way, so let's use that trick now. The god of desire thought to herself. She had planned to wait until Chu Ye showed obvious signs of desire, and then use the strongest power and skills of the original sin of desire to make Chu Ye completely fall into desire. But the current situation does not allow her to drag it on any longer. Seeing this, the god of desire no longer hesitated and released it immediately. Chu Ye knew that the god of desire should have a killer trick hidden, and he had been on guard. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 469. 520 different styles of Qian Renxue. Chu Ye falls. But the move of the god of desire was impossible to defend against. The eyes of the god of desire suddenly flashed with pink light, and the endless power of the original sin of desire was already overwhelming. Desire realm. No, it's a mental illusion skill. Chu Ye's face changed drastically. When he reacted, the surrounding scene had changed instantly. The next second, Chu Ye's consciousness entered the mental illusion space. This is a pink space full of girlish breath. The whole space exudes an extremely charming fragrance that will make people instantly confused. The temperature inside is very warm, warm enough not to make people uncomfortable, but to the extent that people's bodies are hot. The air seems to be filled with the breath of the original sin of desire, and with every breath Chu Ye takes in, it will absorb a few points. Chu Ye frowned. Soon, the enchanting laughter of the god of desire sounded again in the space, and then the figure of the god of desire appeared in front of him. Chu Ye, let's have some fun here. I'll let you experience the power of my original sin of desire. The voice of the god of desire continued to ring, and she twisted her charming figure, twisting her buttocks. As she walked, she slowly took off her coat, revealing her snow-white skin and thighs, which was extremely sexy. The other party walked in front of Chu Ye step by step, dancing gracefully and twisting her graceful figure. Chu Ye did not attack. He knew that in this space, all the worldly things were not real, they were all illusions. But he had to at least keep a distance from the god of desire, and then crack the realm of desire. Come on, let's enjoy the fun. After the god of desire showed off his figure in front of Chu Ye, he was about to reach out and throw himself into Chu Ye's arms. Get out! Chu Ye resisted the power of the original sin of desire in his heart, and was still able to maintain some rationality, and pushed the god of desire away. I won't be affected by you. Chu Ye stabilized his mind and kept his heart absolutely calm. He could feel that only if his heart was not entangled by a trace of desire, he could break the realm of desire. Really? What if it is like this? Sure enough. Chu Ye widened his eyes, and his heart finally became unsettled. At this moment, the god of desire had turned into Qian Renxue, also wearing very sexy clothes. Zhuye, no, that's not right. She is the god of desire, not Zhuye. Everything in front of me is an illusion, an illusion. Even though Chu Ye knew this, the moment the god of desire turned into Qian Renxue, his stable heart began to be confused. His own rationality began to gradually disappear, and he was quickly falling into the original sin of desire and losing his rationality. You can still keep your mind when facing my appearance, but it seems that you can't do that when facing your beloved woman. This made Chu Ye rarely see the other side of Qian Renxue's appearance. This is also a posture that Qian Renxue does not usually show. Of course, it can be seen when she is in the dark Qian Renxue. However, there are not many cases of double chopstick strangulation of light and dark Qian Renxue, so Chu Ye was a little lost for a moment when he saw Qian Renxue in this posture. Realizing that Chu Ye was now surrounded by the strong original sin of desire, the god of desire sneered in his heart and increased his strength again. If this is not enough, then make it more intense and see how it goes. The god of desire, in the appearance of Qian Renxue, has already stuck to Chu Ye from the side, and whispered in Chu Ye's ear with an extremely gentle voice. Then, fuck, Chu Ye was stunned and exclaimed in his heart. Almost in the blink of an eye, 520 Qian Renxue appeared in front of me, in all directions. 260 bright Qian Renxue. 260 dark Qian Renxue. Each of these 520 bright and dark Qian Renxue was dressed differently. They wore all kinds of sexy clothes, all kinds of different styles and clothes. There was Qian Renxue wearing the Pope's clothes, Qian Renxue wearing the golden and jade god clothes, Qian Renxue wearing maid clothes, Qian Renxue wearing nurse clothes. There was also Qian Renxue wearing pajamas, cute style, sexy style, charming style, royal sister style, dark style, bandage style, cat girl style, nurse style, teacher black silk style. As long as you can imagine the style, you can see them in front of you. Chapter 470. The god of desire is defeated. The audience cheers. Style, clothing, type. The 520 Qian Renxue in front of him have everything, satisfying all of Chu Ye's fantasies and imaginations. I can't stand it anymore. Chu Ye felt that he could no longer maintain his self-consciousness. 520 times the happiness instantly made Chu Ye lose his mind, completely lost himself, and completely fell into the original sin of desire. Chu Ye, the 520 Qian Renxue had all rushed towards Chu Ye and surrounded him. Chu Ye fell into the land of tenderness and couldn't extricate himself. Only their gentle and charming shouts were left in his ears. Hee hee, ha 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 ha. The god of desire among them had already laughed crazily and evilly. She wanted to make Chu Ye's spirit completely intoxicated in the realm of lust, and then squeeze Chu Ye to death, and die of complete mental confusion. And now Chu Ye has almost no ability to struggle. Chu Ye. Chu Ye. At this moment, Qian Renxue's call rang again in Chu Ye's mind, but it was not so clear. It seemed that he could hear it clearly, but not clearly. In Chu Ye's extremely weak consciousness, he seemed to feel that Qian Renxue was calling him, but he could not respond. Oh no, is Chu Ye trapped? After calling many times without getting a response from Chu Ye, Qian Renxue in the worship hall had realized something and was a little worried. This guy. She gritted her teeth and said again, Chu Ye. Wake up. Wake up, Chu Ye, answer me. Qian Renxue knew. Chu Ye was most likely trapped in the original sin of desire. Now she could only continue to communicate with Chu Ye psychologically and use words to wake him up. Qian Renxue's voice kept ringing, and it actually made the lost Chu Ye regain some self-awareness. Chu Ye, but the situation in front of him was too extreme. Under the confusion of Qian Renxue, who was 520, and the crazy influence of the power of the original sin of desire, Chu Ye lost himself again. Qian Renxue lost Chu Ye's response again. Although she didn't know what Chu Ye was experiencing at the moment, it must be something very indecent and shameful. Qian Renxue got angry directly and said angrily, "Chu Ye, if you dare to do anything to let me down in the original sin of desire, wait for me, I will definitely deal with you. I limit you to 10 seconds to get rid of the obstacles in front of you, otherwise you will never be able to be intimate with me in the future." Qian Renxue's voice this time, with an angry emotion, instantly shook Chu Ye's entire soul. Chu Ye, who was intoxicated, actually regained consciousness immediately, and said with a look of trepidation, "Wife, I was wrong." After getting Chu Ye's clear response, Qian Renxue finally breathed a sigh of relief. "Humph. You didn't do anything." "No. Absolutely not." Chu Ye's consciousness was completely clear, and the power of the original sin of desire seemed to be shattered in his body in an instant. "Hurry up and deal with her." "I know, swear. Get out of here." Chu Ye roared wildly. Hush bang. Boom boom boom. The next second, a strong dragon god energy burst out from his body, destroying all the 520 Qian Renxue illusions surrounding him on the spot. How is it possible? He can actually regain his sanity in this situation. What kind of guy is this? The god of desire was unbelievable and confused. The realm of lust? Hectares, break it for me. At this moment, Chu Ye closed his eyes, his whole body was empty, and he became extremely calm. The next second, the entire pink space was shattered on the spot. Chu Ye's spirit finally returned to the real world. At that moment, the god of desire was also forcibly destroyed by Chu Ye's inner heart and suffered a serious backlash. Puff, the god of desire spit out a mouthful of blood. She covered her chest and looked at Chu Ye with a pale face. "How did you do it? Why can you suddenly wake up? Based on my own situation just now, it is indeed difficult to break a state of desire, but I have never been alone. There is a voice in my mind that reminds me to wake up all the time," Chu Ye said slowly. Recalling the 520 scenes of Qian Renxue in different styles just now, Chu Ye couldn't help but recall it. That scene is probably something that he will never experience again in this life. Although it is an illusion, it is impossible. It is indeed a rare experience. It allows him to see Qian Renxue's changing styles. Voice. The god of desire didn't quite understand Chu Ye's words. But she knew she had lost. The backlash just now had made her lose the ability to continue fighting. "Okay, you won." The god of desire sighed, then slowly looked in the direction of the god of destruction, with a guilty look on his face. "Sorry, my lord, I can defeat him." Then he turned around and announced, "I admit defeat." After that, the god of desire quietly left the duel field. The dragon-hair one, he really defeated the 7 gods of original sin. He did it, this kid really did it. Good boy, so amazing. The god of fire was very excited and admired him very much, because even he couldn't defeat the 7 gods of original sin within 24 hours. It was something that any of the first level gods present could not do. Dragon God Chu Ye. Dragon God Chu Ye. Dragon God Chu Ye. At this moment, the whole audience also remembered a fierce cheer. A large number of gods began to call Chu Ye's name excitedly and passionately, cheering and shouting for him. As Chu Ye defeated the 7 gods of original sin, he undoubtedly convinced most of the gods, and those gods who had originally remained neutral or began to oppose also cheered for Chu Ye's victory. The faces of the god of Shura and the god of destruction were also gloomy, and both of them secretly clenched their fists. Chu Ye's strength was demonstrated with his own hands, which convinced and recognized a large number of gods. Now Chu Ye has more and more supporters in the god realm, and even has a large number of loyal supporters. The gods who originally supported him may be less than 1/5 of the gods in the god realm. But now, the number of gods supporting Chu Ye has long exceeded half, and even reached 2/3. Even the god of evil actually wanted to see Chu Ye make it to the end, although he felt that in the last game, Chu Ye and Qian Renxue would not be able to defeat the god of destruction together. This kid always surprises us time and time again. We originally thought he would be defeated by the god of death, but in the end, the god of death did die miserably. We also thought it was impossible for him to defeat the 7 gods of original sin, but he still surprised us. Chapter 471 God of Destruction. God Shura, are you teaching me how to do things? We thought that he couldn't defeat the 7 original sin gods, but he finally relied on his own strength to defeat them one by one and one until now. This kid can really create miracles. God of Destruction, if things go wrong, when they fight you, unexpected things will happen. The evil god said with a smile. The God of Destruction looked gloomy and snorted coldly. Humph! There is no miracle in my hands. No matter how much power they have hidden, they can't be my opponent. Everyone, just watch. I, the God of Destruction, will personally end him. The rules set by me will also be understood by me personally. The God of Destruction was very unhappy. He naturally had absolute confidence in himself, but in today's battle, Chu Ye killed a powerful first-level god under his seat and crippled another, leaving one of his subordinates dead and one disabled. Now the God of Destruction is no longer fighting to prevent Chu Ye from becoming the dragon god, but also at the idea of revenge for his subordinates. God Shura said in a deep voice. Although I don't believe that Chu Ye and the God of Angels can defeat you together, but Destruction, don't underestimate the enemy, you are the last line of defense. If you lose, then we will not be qualified to stop him from becoming the dragon god. Humph! Shura, are you teaching me how to do things? The God of Destruction asked unceremoniously. Seeing the attitude of the God of Destruction, God Shura said no more. Chu Ye, invincible. Chu Ye, invincible. Feeling the current cheers and Chu Ye's supporters, Shura and the God of Destruction all had gloomy faces. Chu Ye also relaxed his body and lay on the ground, enjoying the joy and tranquility of victory at this moment. There is only one step left to the finish line. Chu Ye thought to himself. At this time, the voice of the God of Destruction sounded. Chu Ye, the successor of the dragon god. The scene instantly became quiet. Chu Ye also slowly stood up from the ground and looked directly at the God of Destruction outside the stage. The God of Destruction looked at Chu Ye with indifference. You are very good. You actually defeated the 7 gods of original sin. Then, your opponent will be me. In one day, bring the God of Angels here to accept your failure together. Chu Ye looked directly at the high and mighty God of Destruction and said calmly, King of Destruction, I really want to see what a king of gods like you, who stands at the pinnacle of the god realm, will look like when he fails. I, Chu Ye, will not accept my failure until the last moment. If we finally beat you, I hope you can remember the agreement we made between us. Chu Ye said seriously. Now that he has so many supporters and advocates, he is not afraid of these kings of gods playing tricks. Hehe, I have to admit that you are indeed very capable, but in front of this god king, you are still just so-so. The agreement will naturally be fulfilled, but the premise is that you have to defeat me. I must recall the agreement and conditions between us again. If we defeat you, we will be exempted from all punishments, I can enter and exit the dragon tomb freely, and you can no longer stop me from becoming the dragon god. At the same time, the Phoenix God will be released without guilt. These are all the agreements witnessed by the Sure God King, the Evil God King, the Good God King, the Life God King, and all the God Kings. The God of Destruction said coldly, Hehe, kid, remember now, this is the last time you will talk to me in this manner. After speaking, the figure of the God of Destruction disappeared, but his voice was still echoing in the dual field. At this time, the 7 elemental gods came to Chu Ye's side. Brother Chu Ye, how are you going to deal with the God of Destruction next? I know you must be confident, right? The God of Fire asked. Now he really didn't doubt Chu Ye at all. This kid can't be judged by common sense, and he can always be unexpected. There is still 1 day and 4 hours before we fight the God of Destruction. Brother Vulcan, I will go back to the mortal realm to prepare. During this time, please trouble the God of Fire and the God of Water to take care of my 2 children. Return to the mortal realm. Okay, no problem. Leave these 2 little guys to us. I promise to take good care of them and nothing will go wrong. The God of Fire patted his chest and said, Thank you very much, Brother Vulcan. Chu Ye arched his hands and thanked. Although they came and went freely, Chu Ye had long discovered that there were gods secretly monitoring little Shu Han and little Shu Zi at all times. After all, Chu Ye's children were the handle. No matter where Chu Ye and Qian Renxue went, as long as they had the children as the handle, they would not escape. This is also the reason why the God Realm would let Chu Ye and Qian Renxue freely enter and exit the God Realm and the Mortal Realm. So Chu Ye knew that the 2 children could not be brought back to the Mortal Realm, so he could only go back first and reunite with Qian Renxue. The time in the mortal realm was 1 day and 4 hours, which was 1 year and 2 months. If Qian Renxue can quickly enter the God King realm, then Chu Ye can practice with Qian Renxue, study strategies, and even study new moves to strengthen the strength of the two. Chu Ye himself also needs to be strengthened, so they need time now, and it will take more time to go to the mortal world. After all, if Qian Renxue breaks through the God King realm alone, it can only be said that there is hope to defeat the God of Destruction, but no matter how the God of Destruction dies, he is also an old ancient God King, and his strength must be very strong. If you want to be sure of defeating the God of Destruction, you must strengthen their strength again. Afterwards, Chu Ye followed the God of Fire back to the God of Fire's domain and visited the two children. Time was tight, and Chu Ye couldn't accompany them for too long. Son, dear daughter, Dad has something to leave for a while. You can play with Uncle Vulcan for 2 days, and after 2 days, Dad and Mom will come to pick you up, okay? The two little guys nodded obediently. Good. Chu Ye gently touched their heads, then got up and left. Swear, I'm ready to come back. Chu Ye communicated with Qian Renxue through telepathy, and then immediately entered the Dragon God space. Not long after, he returned to Douluo Continent. He slowly spread his hands and breathed the long-lost breath of Douluo Continent. Well, it's still the air on the continent that makes me feel more comfortable. He glanced at the Wuhan city not far away and flew away in an instant. Rest. Like a gust of wind blowing, Chu Ye instantly landed in front of the worship hall. At this moment, Qian Dalu, the 6 great worshippers, all the titled Douluo elders, including Chu Ye and Douluo, actually gathered outside the worship hall and stood. Chu Ye's sudden appearance startled everyone. After seeing that it was Chu Ye, they showed a happy expression. Lord Chu Ye, you're back. Now, Douluo, Chu and Yan, the 3 of them are also powerful people at the titled Douluo level. Chapter 472. The Angel God position evolves. Qian Renxue enters the realm of God King. The 3 of them also entered the Elder Hall and became ordinary elders of the Spirit Hall. Why are you all gathered here? Chu Ye asked. Your Majesty seems to be about to break through the realm, so we come here to observe. Douluo said. Chu Ye's face suddenly brightened. Are you going to break through the Divine King realm? I was wondering why Swear ignored me just now. The time is just right. After Swear enters the Divine King realm, we can use the remaining time to study new moves. Chu Ye was thinking in his heart. At this time, a breath of light and darkness suddenly emanated from the worship hall. This breath was very strong, and even if you just stood outside the worship hall, you could feel it. So the elders did not dare to enter, but just watched and observed here. I'll go in and take a look. With Chu Ye's strength, he was naturally not afraid of Qian Renxue's realization of the Divine King realm. The energy breath he exuded flashed directly into the worship hall. He soon saw the place where Qian Renxue was in seclusion to realize the Divine King realm. At this moment, Qian Renxue was sitting under the stone statue of the angel, her body completely surrounded by the 12-winged angel wings of light and darkness, emitting extreme light and dark energy from time to time. After those energies were emitted, part of them condensed above Qian Renxue and gradually formed an energy phantom. Chu Ye looked serious and felt something was wrong. But he did not go forward to disturb her, but watched silently from the side. As the energy fluctuations spread again and again, the phantom above Qian Renxue was quickly completed, combined, and condensed. After a long time, those energy phantoms had completely formed a brand new appearance. That was Qian Renxue's appearance, with the 12-winged angel wings of light and darkness behind her. The next second. Shoo! Boom boom boom. Qian Renxue instantly spread her wings, and her appearance also appeared in front of Chu Ye. She closed her eyes and was also fully immersed in it, and she didn't even know Chu Ye's arrival. Her body slowly floated up, and finally merged with the energy body condensed by the energy above. At this moment, the condensed energy body was injected into Qian Renxue's body crazily, and merged with Qian Renxue, as if giving her a new power and divine power. This is... Chu Ye was shocked and widened his eyes. He felt that at this moment, a new divine power appeared on Qian Renxue's body, which could also be said to be the divine power of the angel god after sublimation. This new divine power began to erode Qian Renxue's angel god armor and angel sword crazily. Even the external soul bombs and the wings of the light and dark dragons sent by the light and dark dragon kings before were completely integrated with Qian Renxue's divine armor. With the new divine power injected into the divine armor and the divine sword, at this moment, Qian Renxue's artifact Angel Holy Sword has evolved to the super artifact level. The angel god armor fused with the external soul bonds and the wings of the light and dark dragons has also entered the level of the divine armor of the God King. The appearance of the angel holy sword and the angel god armor has also changed. The originally golden angel holy sword has half more black. The same is true for the angel god's armor. Under the golden god's armor, half of it is occupied by black. When the artifact and the god's armor were completely transformed, Qian Renxue's power finally stepped into the God King realm. At this moment, Qian Renxue's power has truly reached the level of God King. Her angel godhood has also evolved from the first level godhood to the God King level godhood under the new power of the gods. This is no longer the angel god of the past. It can be said to be a brand new godhood that has been sublimated on the basis of the angel god. It is different from the power controlled by the angel god. In other words, the power controlled by the angel god is just one of the powers of Qian Renxue's current God King level godhood. Chu Ye's godhood has actually evolved. Chu Ye was a little surprised. In his cognition, when a god breaks through the realm, breaks through the power, and is promoted to the godhood level, it only improves the level of the godhood, such as from the third level god to the second level god, but the godhood will not evolve, and the power controlled will not change. It will not control a brand new power in addition to the original godhood power. But before Chu Ye could think about it, something even more surprising happened again. Qian Renxue at this moment actually split out a part of the power of the gods from the evolved God King level throne. And this part of the power that was split out was the original angel god throne. In other words, while Qian Renxue now has a God King level God King in her body, she also separated out the original first level god, the angel god's throne, leaving a vacant throne. She turned one throne into two. One is the God King level throne, which is perfectly integrated with the current Qian Renxue. The other one is Qian Renxue's original first level god, the angel god's throne, which has been separated from the body and is now in a vacant stage. After Qian Renxue separated the original angel god's throne, her own power did not decrease. You are worthy of being my Chu Ye's woman. Chu Ye, you can actually do this. Chu Ye said in surprise. The angel god's throne that has been split out now can be completely inherited by Qian Dalu, allowing Qian Dalu to become a first level god, the angel god. The evolution of the god position to the God King level allows part of the power of the gods to split out a separate god position, which is the same as the situation of Shura god and Killing god back then. As we all know, the Killing god position is a god position created and split out under the power of Shura god position. It was when Shura god became Shura god King that he split out part of the power of Shura god position to form a Killing god position in order to allow his subordinates to become gods. Qian Renxue is probably like this now. Successful, Grandpa can finally become a god. Qian Renxue was very happy in her heart. In addition to Chu Ye, she has 2 children in her life, and the only man she cares about is Grandpa Qian Dalu. They can become gods and have unlimited lifespans, but they don't want to see Qian Dalu die of old age. This is a knot in Qian Renxue's heart, and now it has been solved. And on the Douluo Continent, the only person who is qualified to inherit the position of the angel god is Qian Dalu. She opened her eyes and found that Chu Ye was already standing in front of her. Chu Ye, when did you come back? Qian Renxue was very happy and threw herself into Chu Ye's arms. I've been back for a while. Chu Ye held Qian Renxue in his arms, gently stroking her cheek, and then said, Chu Ye, I didn't expect you to separate the angel throne. Yeah, after I found that my throne had evolved and mastered the power of new gods, I thought of Shura god and Killer god, so I tried it, and I didn't expect it to be successful. Chapter 473. Divine King Qian Renxue. The former Qian Dalu, Chu Ye, now we can let Grandpa become the angel god, and he can also become a god, and go to the god realm with us in the future. Qian Renxue pulled Chu Ye's 2 sides and said happily, Yes, now as long as we defeat the god of destruction, everything will be perfect. Qian Renxue was happy, Chu Ye was naturally very happy, he felt Chu Ye's joy. Then he asked, Chu Ye, what kind of power do you control in your current position as the God King? Chu Ye knew that the first level god angel god controlled the power of the sky. The angel god was actually called the god of light, and controlled part of the power of light. Qian Renxue replied, In addition to the power of the sky, my current position has completely controlled the power of light and the power of darkness. And my current position is called the Angel God of Light and Darkness. Angel God of Light and Darkness, God King Qian Renxue. Chu Ye nodded secretly, he could feel that the power controlled by Qian Renxue now is more in line with him. Qian Renxue's strongest power is light and darkness. Chu Ye's strongest power is also light and darkness. They are a perfect match, and with the 100% compatibility of the life and death contract, Chu Ye is confident that he and Qian Renxue can create even more terrifying power. Chu Ye, let's let Grandpa and the others come in now. In this case, Grandpa will fuse the angel throne, and a lot of energy will overflow. First, let the elders help Grandpa share that burden, and second, it can also increase the elders' soul power a lot, and our Wiccan Hall can become stronger. Qian Renxue said. As early as when she split the angel throne, she had already thought about the follow-up matters clearly. Chu Ye nodded and came to the outside of the worship hall in an instant. Lord Chu Ye, Your Majesty, did Your Majesty succeed? Everyone asked with concern. Well, it succeeded. Zwe has now become the Supreme God King. Chu Ye smiled. Great. Great. I didn't expect Xiaoxu to be able to take the throne of the angel god to such a height. Everyone was very excited. Qian Renxue was even more excited and almost cried, because the angel god he believed in was even more powerful. But what Qian Renxue didn't know was that he would soon become the angel god. Everyone, now all of you, come in with me. Chu Ye said. Everyone looked at each other, without asking any more questions, and followed Chu Ye into the worship hall. After a while, they all stood in front of Qian Renxue. Greetings to His Majesty. Greetings to the angel god. Everyone, stand up. Qian Renxue said slowly, and she waved her hand casually, and a throne fell beside her. This is. Everyone widened their eyes and was shocked. Yes, what you see in front of you is the throne of the angel god. Grandpa, from now on, the throne of the angel god will be inherited by you and carried by you. You will be the new angel god. Qian Renxue's voice echoed in the hall. What? All the elders were shocked. The clever Qian Renxue had actually guessed what was going on from the divine aura emanating from Qian Renxue. But despite this, he was also shocked in his heart, took a breath, and then seemed to be excited from his blood. The God of Angels. Ever since Qian Renxue obtained the 8 trials of angels and became the great priest of the Spirit Hall, he no longer fantasized that he could become the God of Angels. Although this was Qian Renxue's dream when he was young, this dream had long been shattered. As a great priest, he knew that he would never be able to become the God of Angels again. When he saw his granddaughter Qian Renxue achieve the status of an angel, he was very pleased because Qian Renxue had fulfilled his dream when he was a teenager, but how could he not yearn to become the God of Angels in his heart? Although the last time Chu Ye sent Qian Renxue back from the God realm, he said that they all had the opportunity to become gods, but becoming other gods was not as exciting and thrilling as becoming the God of Angels. Because this is the God he believes in. But after many twists and turns, the throne of the angel god was so lucky that it fell on him. Now the angel god position is in front of Qian Renxue. He is extremely eager to get it, but he doubts whether he is qualified. He looks at his granddaughter seriously. He asked, Xiaoxu, Grandpa, am I qualified to inherit the angel god position and become the new angel god? After all, I'm only the 8th test. Grandpa, you don't have to doubt yourself. What's the 8th test? That is the definition given to you by the previous angel god. Now, I will pass on the angel god position to you. I said you can inherit it, and you have the qualification. Qian Renxue said very seriously. Now the person who controls the angel god position is Qian Renxue, so all the standards are determined by her. She can pass it to whoever she wants. Moreover, Qian Renxue, whether in terms of strength or in all aspects, is fully qualified and capable of carrying this position. Great priest. What are you still hesitating about? Go. This is the decision of the angel god. Everyone was encouraging, looking forward to it, and they were happy for Qian Renxue from the bottom of their hearts. Especially the great priests, and the golden crocodile Douluo who was older than Qian Renxue. In fact, they knew very well that Qian Renxue once longed to become the angel god. And the one who knew Qian Renxue best was actually the second priest golden crocodile Douluo. Seeing the desire and passion for the angel god rekindled in Qian Renxue's eyes, golden crocodile Douluo instantly saw the appearance of Qian Renxue when he was young. Past memories rushed into golden crocodile Douluo's mind crazily, reminding him of the scenes of the past. That was when Qian Renxue was just 6 years old and awakened the 6-winged angel god level martial spirit. Because golden crocodile Douluo was more than 30 years older than Qian Renxue, golden crocodile Douluo was almost 40 years old at the time. At the time, golden crocodile Douluo was already a powerful title Douluo at the Spirit Hall, and he had also become an elder of the Spirit Hall early on, and was on the road to becoming an elder. In the eyes of Golden Crocodile Dalu at the time, Qian Renxue was still a little kid who only dreamed of becoming the god of angels all day long, a young master of the spirit hall. He witnessed Qian Renxue awakening his spirit with his own eyes, and witnessed Qian Renxue, a 6-year-old child, who, after awakening his spirit, made a bold statement in front of the Pope and many titled Douluo elders. I, Qian Renxue, will definitely become the god of angels. At the time, Golden Crocodile Dalu could be said to be the pride of the Spirit Hall, a contemporary peerless genius, and was highly valued by the Spirit Hall. Even though Qian Renxue was a young master, he didn't take it too seriously, but it was Qian Renxue's bold statement at the time that made Golden Crocodile Dalu pay attention to Qian Renxue, the young master. Chapter 474 Qian Renxue becomes the god of angels, and the spirit power of all the titled Douluo in the Spirit Hall increases dramatically. Golden Crocodile Dalu watched Qian Renxue, who was constantly working hard to become the angel god, growing up, becoming stronger, and becoming a strong man step by step with the goal of becoming the angel god. He witnessed Qian Renxue's growth. He also saw that when Qian Renxue finally entered the worship hall and accepted the test of the angel god, he only got the test of the angel 8 tests. He was disappointed, lonely, unwilling, and collapsed, as if his dream was broken and he had lost his direction. After that, Qian Renxue instantly became much more mature, and his eyes completely lost the enthusiasm for the angel god. But now Golden Crocodile Dalu once again saw the eyes that Qian Renxue had lost when he was young. Go, Qian Renxue, go and become the angel god. Golden Crocodile Dalu's voice sounded. This was the first time he called Qian Renxue's name directly since Qian Renxue became the great worshipper. Golden Crocodile. Qian Renxue glanced at Golden Crocodile Dalu with a flickering look. Looking at the eyes of the two old men looking at each other, Chu Ye knew that there was a story between them. Okay. Then I, Qian Renxue, will inherit the title of Angel God. Qian Renxue finally took a slow step and walked towards Qian Renxue step by step. Grandpa, are you ready? Qian Renxue's voice sounded. Qian Renxue took a deep breath. I'm ready. At this moment, the identities of the two seemed to be exchanged. Back then, it was Qian Renxue who guided Qian Renxue to become the angel god, and now it is Qian Renxue who guides Qian Renxue to become the angel god. Then let's get started. At this moment, the vacant angel god, with the power of Qian Renxue, began to merge with Qian Renxue. The terrifying golden light rushed up to the sky, rushed through the ceiling of the worship hall, and reached above the clouds. Back then, when Qian Renxue became the angel god, it reappeared in Wuhan City. Oh my god. Everyone, look. All the soul masters and civilians in the city were all shocked and looked at the golden light and the shadow of the god in the golden light. That's what's going on. Heaven, angel god. Countless civilians looked at there in a daze. Wasn't the angel god inherited by Qian Renxue? Now, what's going on? When countless people were confused. At this moment in the worship hall, Qian Renxue had already started to merge with the angel god. The power of the god was madly integrated into Qian Renxue's body. His soul power began to transform into divine power, and his energy began to increase wildly. The 6 soul bones in his body were also injected with angel power and were merging into angel god clothes. In this process, a large amount of divine power overflowed and flowed out. All elders, and Qiu, Liana, Yan, you 3, all of you sit down now and absorb the overflowing energy. This can help you greatly increase your soul power. Chu Ye shouted immediately. Okay. Everyone sat down without hesitation and began to absorb the angel power overflowing from Qian Renxue. In this process, the soul power of the elders also began to increase wildly. This made everyone very happy. They didn't find that they also had such a great opportunity. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue looked at each other and said, after today, our Wuhan Hall will have several more level 99 peerless Douluo masters. Yes. When they enter the level 99 peerless Douluo realm, they will have the entry volume to become gods. Chu Ye nodded. These elders who became level 99 would become his goal to cultivate them into gods. Then time passed by. During the process of Qian Renxue's fusion of the angel god, everyone's soul power had increased a lot. The Golden Crocodile Dalu, who was already at the peak of level 98, now stepped into the level 99 peerless Douluo realm in one fell swoop, and pushed his soul power to the peak of level 99 inches one fell swoop. The Golden Crocodile Dalu became the second level 99 worship elder. The third worshipper King Douluo, who was already at level 98, and the fourth worshipper Qian Renxue, who were already at level 98, also stepped into level 99 inches one fell swoop and reached the peak of level 99. The five worshippers Guangling Douluo, who were originally at level 97, and the six worshippers Qian Douluo and the seven worshippers Qian Renxue, all rushed to the level 99 realm in one fell swoop. So far, all the worshippers of the Spirit Hall have stepped into the level 99 soul power. Among the ordinary elders below, the most outstanding one is Douluo. Douluo is the earliest titled Douluo who follows Chu Ye. He absorbed the Qian Time chrysanthemum given by Chu Ye a long time ago. Under the effect of the Qian Time chrysanthemum, Douluo's talent has long been stronger. If he had not had a single-minded lover in his life, Chu Ye would have even absorbed the Acacia Heartbroken Red to Douluo. If Douluo had absorbed the Acacia Heartbroken Red, he would probably have been a level 99 strongman by now. However, under the effect of this wave of divine power, Douluo's soul power also reached the peak of level 98 inches one fell swoop, and it was almost only one step away from level 99. Within 10 years, it may be possible to step into the level 99 realm. Ghost Douluo is level 98. Snake Spear Douluo is at the peak of level 96. Demon Bear Douluo and Ghost Leopard Douluo are at the peak of level 97. Thorny Porpoise Douluo is at the peak of level 95. Illyria is at level 96. Shiyu and Yan are at the peak of level 95. As Qian Renxue perfectly merged with the angel god position and broke through the 100th level in one fell swoop, becoming a god in an instant, all the elders also stopped increasing their power. At this moment, Qian Renxue became the new generation of the first level main god, the angel god. Golden Crocodile, Blue Liuan, Lion, Lightwing, Qian Jun, and Demon Subduan, 6 elders of worship, level 99 Peerless Douluo. 2 level 98 titled Douluo, Chrysanthemum Douluo and Ghost Douluo. 3 level 97 titled Douluo, Ghost Leopard Douluo, Demon Bear Douluo, and Flame Spirit Cat Douluo. 2 level 96 titled Douluo, Snake Spear Douluo, Illyria, and Fox Douluo. 3 level 95 titled Douluo, Thorny Porpoise Douluo, Shiyu, and Yan. In fact, not only that, the Spirit Hall also has other titled Douluo below level 95, and some newly promoted titled Douluo in recent years. The number of titled Douluo alone is close to 30 inches the Spirit Hall now. Similarly, in the past 10 years, many talented soul masters have appeared in the Spirit Hall, some of whom are very talented and gifted, and even more talented than Illyria, Yan, and Shiyu back then. Today's Spirit Hall can be said to be very powerful. It is a holy place for countless young soul masters to join and practice. It is the height and peak that the Spirit Hall has never reached since its establishment. Level 99. Lao, we have all reached level 99 soul power. Qian Jin, Jiang, Guangling Douluo and others were very excited, but they quickly calmed down and knelt on one knee at the same time. We pay homage to the God of Angels. Looking at Qian Renxue, who has now become a god and the god of angels, all the elders knelt on one knee with incomparable awe in their eyes. Everyone, please stand up quickly. Qian Renxue's sacred and majestic voice sounded, and he was also very excited in his heart. Chapter 475 Chu Ye, Qian Renxue prepared to fight against the god of destruction. Now, Qian Renxue inherited the first level god angel god, Qian Renxue was promoted to god king light and dark angel god, and Bai Bai Dong was also a first level god, Rakshasa god. With Chu Ye's strength after opening the power sharing, he can also step into the god king level of combat power. There are also Ginyu, god level combat power, and many of their souls have also reached the priest level combat power. Now Chu Ye and his power, if they want to rebel against the God Realm, can already bring a great impact and threat to the God Realm. They can even escape the coverage of the God Realm and go to a more distant world in the star field, but unless Chu Ye and Qian Renxue are ultimately defeated by the God of Destruction, they will not easily choose this path. After all, this means abandoning everything. And with Qian Renxue entering the God King Realm, Qian Renxue inherited the position of Angel God, and the God Realm must have known it. The power of gods, the position of gods and the fetters of the God Realm, someone became a god or someone was promoted to God King, the God Realm could not be unaware. At this moment, the God Realm has indeed noticed the changes in Qian Renxue's position and the changes in the position of the Angel God. That woman. Actually. Damn it. No wonder. No wonder Chu Ye, that kid, still has such strong confidence. That woman has stepped into the God King, and she really has the power to compete with the God King of Destruction. When Qian Renxue was promoted to the God King of Light and Dark Angels, the God realm was once again in an uproar. At this moment, no one doubted Chu Ye and Qian Renxue, their power. If things go well, Chu Ye and Qian Renxue will join forces and eventually defeat the God of Destruction. The gods doubted it, and they really thought it was possible. The evil god said with interest, "Interesting, Light and Dark Angel God King, I didn't expect that the God realm would have a new God King, this is really surprising, Destruction, I said it before, they can always bring us unexpected things. Now, do you still think you can beat them 100%? The face of the God of Destruction was also very ugly at this moment. He had absolute confidence in himself before, but now there is actually one who has broken through to the God King realm, a God King. A god of the same level as him, the God of Destruction. Although Qian Renxue is a newly promoted God King, there is definitely a gap in strength compared to the old God King like him, the God of Destruction. But they also know very well that when Chu Ye and Qian Renxue fight together, they cooperate very well. When they join forces, their strength and power will be stronger. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue were indeed putting pressure on the God of Destruction now. But as a veteran God King, the last thing he should lose is confidence and self-confidence. He quickly restored his absolute confidence in himself. HMPH. So what if I am a God King? I, the God of Destruction, am an ancient God King. She is just a newly promoted God King of Light and Dark Angels, with Chu Ye who has only the power of a peak first-level God. How can she compete with me? I still say that the rules set by me will be ended by my own hands. God Shura reminded again, this time with great seriousness. Destruction, I hope that you will think carefully about countermeasures in the next period of time, and analyze their weaknesses, shortcomings, and abilities in all aspects thoroughly. You haven't fought for a long time, right? Go and adapt to your own strength again. I can be your opponent. God Shura offered to be the sparring partner for the God King of Destruction. But the God of Destruction did not appreciate it, and said with a conceited face, "No need, it's just a new God King and a Dragon God successor, do I need to be so serious?" The God of Shura finally got a little unhappy. Okay, God King of Destruction, I hope you won't disappoint the gods. Hehe, Shura, one day later, you just wait and see how I defeat them. I don't need you to teach me how to do things. The God of Destruction glanced at him, sneered, and then left. God Kings like them don't know how long they haven't taken action and fought properly, so they must be a little rusty with their own strength, and their combat awareness is definitely not as good as the peak in all aspects. They need to warm up and find their form. As a God King, it is definitely best for the God of Destruction to practice with the God of Destruction. But the arrogant God of Destruction naturally doesn't want to do this, because it is equivalent to telling everyone that he is worried that he will lose. This is the face and self-esteem of the God of Destruction at work, but he said that it was not necessary at all, and after returning to his own Destruction God realm, he began to practice secretly. Refamiliarize yourself, master your own body and strength, simulate battles, refamiliarize yourself with the feeling of fighting, and begin to analyze the strength of Chu Ye and Qian Renxue, and prepare for the battle seriously. On the other side, after Qian Dalu became the God of Angels, Qian Renxue used the power of the God King to open up a small alien space with a radius of less than 1,000 meters. As a God King, it is very simple to create an alien space, just like the City of Slaughter, which was created by the God of Shura. And a small space like this is even easier. Qian Renxue opened it up in less than an hour or two. This is a place for Chu Ye and Qian Renxue to study new moves in seclusion for a period of time. In this space, they can play freely. They also officially began to prepare for the final battle with the God of Destruction. Chu Ye, now we don't have much time left. We must create a more powerful move within a year. One move is enough to overwhelm the power of the God of Destruction. Chu Ye said. Qian Renxue nodded. Well, before that, let's get to know each other first, the power we currently have, and see what level we can reach now. Okay. The two reached a consensus. After the battle with the Sea God, Chu Ye and Qian Renxue had not joined forces again. And the strength of the two has changed drastically since then. Now they have to get familiar with each other's strength. The best way to get to know each other is actually to fight and learn from each other. Chu Ye and Qian Renxue decided to have a match first, just enough to get to know each other's fighting. Come on, Chu Ye. Chu Ye looked serious. Come on. Chu Ye. Qian Renxue also looked serious. Both of them released their own power, and their aura instantly climbed to the top. Share the power. Boom boom boom. What a terrifying power surge. This is the power-sharing amplification brought by Zwe after becoming the Light and Dark Angel God King. So powerful. Feeling the crazy influx of the Light and Dark Angel God King's divine power, Chu Ye's heart was extremely surging and extremely strong. It directly made Chu Ye's power at the moment reach the level of the God King realm. God King. This is the power of the God King. Chu Ye was shocked and also felt the power of the God King. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.